but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
More executive orders on the way. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump expected to reinstate service members discharged for not getting a COVID vaccine. He's also reportedly going to order the U.S. build a version of Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system and that transgender service members be banned. New Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth arriving at the Pentagon earlier today.
Military training will be focused on the readiness of what our troops in the field need to deter our enemies.
Also pledging to continue carrying out the president's orders, including on border security. New York City expected to be next in the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration.
Deportations destroy communities. They destroy families.
Murad Awada is president of the New York Immigration Coalition.
This has never been about safety and security. This administration is hell-bent on ensuring that they maximize their cruelty.
The Trump border czar says a targeted enforcement operation is focusing first on serious public safety threats. The State Department is pausing funding to a major foreign aid agency, the U.S. Agency for International Development. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says this allows the U.S. to reevaluate and realign foreign aid.
USAID is an agency responsible for leading humanitarian efforts outside the United States. Rubio, in a statement, says the move is part of an America First approach and, quote, President Trump stated clearly that the United States is no longer going to blindly dole out money with no return for the American people.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. President Trump meeting later today with House Republicans who are holding a conference in Doral, Florida. A senior GOP source telling Fox the goal is to get everyone on the same page as they work on putting top Trump priorities, including tax cuts, into legislation. America is listening to Fox News.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Feels pretty good out there, especially compared to where we've been. Temperatures about where we should be, though it's breezy. 51 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, only 32. On Tuesday, sunny and 52. Wednesday, sunny and 52. We've got some rain, all rain, Thursday night, Friday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Man, I remember the day, like a lot of my customers, going to school. When I went to school, I had to walk uphill, and it was 25 below zero and 14 inches of snow an hour. And then by the time I got out of school, the terrain changed, and I still had to walk uphill to get home. Remember those days? Crazy. This is extreme weather temperatures. Most people's furnaces can break. If your furnace breaks, give me a call. It's common. It's normal. It's going to happen. It had nothing to do with global warming or anything. It's just these are extreme temperatures. If we can't repair it the same day or it doesn't make sense, I'll give you a really good price on a furnace that gives you heat without the buffet slides that you're going to get more heat and it's going to save you money. So if you want common sense, call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com, and that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and how about the biggest sale ever in celebration of the new year? Leave all of the 2024 dirt behind with the new year out the door 24. Let's start the year fresh in 2025. And here's the deal. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. If you didn't get it done last year, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of an awesome offer for 2025. Anything in your home, the carpets, the tiles, the rugs, the upholstery, every surface can be Zero Resified. So this is the time in January to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Don't forget the air ducts, too. That's really important, helps alleviate allergies or asthma, and you want to enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home's going to stay cleaner longer. Take advantage. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention 97.1 FM Talk or my name. 474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. Don't miss this offer. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world in one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Wonder where they go, who picks them up. This is who picks them up. This is who lures them out on the internet, and they disappear or they get raped and their life's changed forever. And he shouldn't even be here, but he's doing this. But they don't raise their hand and say, hey, there's somebody that doesn't even have the right to be here that's preying upon our children, and they don't tell you about it.
Exactly. And this Governor Pritzker, and the mayor, they want to vilify the men and women of ICE. ICE saved children today. ICE saved children today. And it makes me angry. Governor Pritzker the other day went on the internet, social media, saying ICE was attacking our elementary school. He's scaring children. He's scaring the neighborhood, putting fear in the community. We're doing the exact opposite. We're saving children.
Well, there you have it. Tom Homan in Chicago, and he is out there, as he puts it, saving children. How would you feel about watching Donald Trump march to the presidency, making the promise the entire way to his victory in November that he was going to deport first the criminals, that Tom Homan was going to be immediately out there doing the job, and Dr. Phil's there too? What a surprise.
I didn't know we were getting Dr. Phil as part of this package.
I didn't either. It's like a little extra.
Yeah.
For the people at home. Dr. Phil was at that one final rally. Wasn't it the final rally in Madison Square Garden? And he came out there and he's like, I'm not afraid to say who I support. You know, he said, those people can't fire me because I work for me. So he came out and he started talking about, he wasn't like Donald Trump is your Lord and Savior, which is what some people just automatically thrust celebrities into saying, oh, you worship this guy and you've bent the knee. The phrase bent the knee. Dr. Phil came out and was talking about mental health and was talking about really his lane, which is psychiatry, and talking about the crises that we have in our country because we're not really living in a state of reality. And he supported Donald Trump initially just by being there, but then again in the words that he had to deliver that day. And now he's been to North Carolina with who was it? Was it Elon? He wasn't with Elon Musk. Who was he with? He was in the mountains of North Carolina And they met the video that I remember seeing was there's this little old lady. She was in her 80s, and she was in this tiny little home. She was running out of food. She said she had no family. She didn't have a way to contact anyone. And there's Dr. Phil with his media organization bringing attention to the area, providing the help that is needed, and actually making a difference. I have no problem seeing celebrities show up in this capacity because a lot of them want to pull out their phone and preset a little stage for themselves to talk about what's going on and use that as an opportunity to elevate not the cause but themselves. Dr. Phil is doing something a little bit different, and I appreciate it. And seeing Tom Homan in Chicago, as was promised, is an incredible sight to see. And I have to think, we're hearing from a lot of different voices in Chicago in the months leading up to the November election, but we're also still hearing these very dissatisfied voices because their mayor is an absolute joke of a disaster. J.B. Pritzker hates Brandon Johnson, maybe the most, because Brandon Johnson is adjacent to J.B. Pritzker because they're both Democrats. They're both lunatics as well, but they're both out there trying to do what is so important that we identify. They're trying to sell you a whole new vision of what your problems are so that they can solve them. They can manufacture the problems that you're facing, and then they can predetermine that they can sell you the solution. And it's even worse than that. They don't even really have to sell you a real solution to your problem. What they really need to do is sell you the boogeyman in the closet who will make those problems that they've redefined for you worse. So you got to stick with them. You got to stick with the Democrats. And then eventually it gets to the point where you've got Democrats in the city of Chicago right now looking around going, this sucks. This is an absolute disaster. Who do we talk to? Well, in Chicago, everywhere you look, you've got Democrats. And they're starting to see and speak out loud things that maybe they would not have been comfortable speaking out loud before. J.B. Pritzker is the number one buffoon in Democrat politics right now. J.B. Pritzker is the poster child for, everybody else. If they haven't burst out of the hole that the Democrats have dug them, a lot of other Democrats are kind of like the groundhog peeking their head out of the hole to see, like, is it safe to come out? Can I come out and not be like it was down there? It was dark down there. It was scary. It was messy. It was dirty. J.B. Pritzker's like, give me the shovel. We're going to keep digging. I wonder if Illinois will get the point and make a better choice in November of 2026. Just a reminder, no term limits in the state of Illinois for governor. J.B. Pritzker could be our Lord forever. He could never leave. I think he wants to be president. Gavin Newsom has to be super happy that J.B. Pritzker's out there buffooning around like crazy because he's even in the midst. California is on fire. And literally while we speak, J.B. Pritzker's face is up on Fox News.
It's funny that you say that because while you were talking about Pritzker being the number one Democrat buffoon coming out and saying these things and kind of drawing the limelight, I was thinking, yeah, but Gavin Newsom's right there. However, Gavin Newsom has not chosen that spotlight right now. He is in the midst of a natural disaster that may be his own doing, or at least partially. But it's because of a natural disaster. J.B. Pritzker does not have that happening in his state and is still trying to get you to pay attention to a lot of his even false claims.
Well, you could suggest that maybe what's going on in California is a natural disaster, but what's going on in Chicago is a disaster completely man-made by J.B. Pritzker. I'll even put a little bit on Bruce Rauner for trying to jump in on the let's let our virtue signal shine for all the country to see and call ourselves a sanctuary state. And if you go back and roll the tape, I called him out on that then as a Republican governor and was pretty outspoken on the things with Bruce Rauner. He was a Republican. He was better than J.B. Pritzker, but as far as Republican goes,
yeah,
I'm just telling you still, Adam Kinzinger is going to run for governor. I'm saying it as much as I can so that he doesn't. This is a service to you people. I'm probably going to give him the idea.
Bruce Rauner again, maybe?
I don't know.
No?
I need to Google it. I think he lost and moved to Italy or something like that. I'm not even, that's not a joke. It may not be factual, but my gut reaction, if I had a gun to my head, I'd be like, I think he's in Italy. That's what I would have said.
Well, if I ever lose an election, that's what I'm doing. Even if it's for city council.
Italy?
I'm out.
City council.
I'm in Italy now.
You could go like to Pontoon Beach.
Nope.
You wouldn't have to leave Collinsville to go across the canal.
No, I'm not going to Pontoon Beach.
Okay.
I'm going to Venice.
That's fine.
And I'm going to
Illinois?
ride one of those gondolas.
I don't know if they have them in Venice, Illinois. They should. That would be an attraction.
Now, if en route to Venice, Italy, I get rerouted to Venice, Illinois,
Well.
I will probably notice when I land, but if I don't, I'll just take up residence there.
Do you see Tom Homan is on right now on Fox News. He was in Chicago this weekend. He's all over the place. His sole purpose right now is to weed out the filth of our country in criminals. Criminals, these are known offenders. This is a surgical maneuver. And it's dangerous. It's really dangerous, too, which is why I see Dr. Phil going on this initial operation. These people are the worst of the worst kinds of people, and we're here subsidizing them. I mean, I don't think it's legal, but he can take the citizen criminals with him. Put them on the same plane. Make the other countries deal with them for a while, just as a little bit of retribution.
The Dr. Phil thing is smart because it's a PR game. We've got to be showing what this actually looks like, and
PR for who?
For Trump and for Republicans or for Trump voters.
For Dr. Phil.
No.
It doesn't hurt him.
Correct. Thank you for the clarification.
Although it may hurt him. He's probably still making a business decision here, but it's bigger than that.
Well,
which is your point.
There's always going to be a narrative, and it's led by people like J.B. Pritzker, and a lot of what he's saying isn't even true, so that's important to note. But they're going to try to undercut this effort to rectify the wrong that they caused, and they're going to constantly do this. So it's really important to be showing America, just like Cops, the show Cops. It was a great PR message to show what a cop's life is actually like, to be showing what these raids really are and what they're not, because of all the spin that's going to be out there, is very important right now.
I'll postulate something else. You know why J.B. Pritzker is getting so much time?
No.
Because there are no other Democrats that aren't under great amounts of scrutiny, i.e. Gavin Newsom, because of the fires. He can't be out there slapping Trump around right now for things that don't have to do with his own disasters. J.B. Pritzker is the only face in the Democrat Party who can come out right now and try to land blows on Trump. And J.B. Pritzker is not agile enough to land punches on Donald Trump. He can't do it. America's not looking at what he's doing going, yeah, but right now, J.B. Pritzker, this is how bad the Democratic Party, this is how bad the state they are in. Well, okay, fine, we'll take J.B. Pritzker. Put him out there. Run him out there. Let him do his thing. Let him have his moment in the sun. What other Democrat is out there right now? I mean, you'll see congressional Democrats. They're all tied up in the confirmation hearings. We're going to speak with Ryan Schmelz, who is our friend at Fox News Radio. He's a Capitol Hill and White House correspondent. He's going to give us the lay of the land in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol to tell us what's going on. Those people are pretty entrenched in their sole responsibility. They have a job to do. But if you're just talking straight up red versus blue politics, who do the Democrats have right now?
They don't really have anybody, and that's the big question. They're going, well, who's even leading the party ideologically right now? If it's J.B. Pritzker, you know what's funny about J.B. Pritzker being the face of this moment for the Democrats?
Lots.
Is that, well, it is a lot.
Go on.
But it's not just that he's doing a bad job. It's that he thinks he's doing a great job.
Yeah. He thinks he's hitting home runs. He thinks he's landing blows. And he thinks that the Democrat Party is going to thank him later. They will, but he's just filling time. You ever listen to 2 o'clock on Friday? Just trying to get to the other side of it. That's the difference. And we have a president who's been the president for 1 week and has delivered on so many promises. He's got a lot more promises that he has to deliver on. But he is making good on the things that he told people, if you vote for me, this is what I'm going to do. And the elimination of criminal, illegal aliens in our country is very high on the approval list in a bipartisan way. It was like 70-80% get them out. And I'm always like, who are the other 20%? Are you like, we should really keep the criminals here?
Those are the same people who said Biden won the first debate.
Okay.
Or the only debate.
It's just, it's interesting to watch it unfold, and it's important for us to pay attention to who the speakers are in this moment. And when J.B. Pritzker is the leading voice, think that bodes well for Republicans. Maybe not for Illinoisans, but well for Republicans. So it's a Spirit Week here on the Annie Frey Show. I'm very excited for it. We're showing our team spirit today with our apparel. You can tune in to see what teams we're each supporting here, Brad, Ryan, and myself. Why is it Spirit Week? Well, because it's Lutheran Schools Week. It's also School Choice Week, which is National School Choice Week Awareness Week. And I think that's a really cool tie-in with what we've been able to do here on the Annie Frey Show. And so all week, you're going to get sick of me doing this. I wish there was a way, like when you have non-commercial funded radio, just like other stations who might be donor driven, I won't name them. Like if I donate, will you stop talking about it and just play music? If you could do that, if you could figure out how to put a quarter in the slot and then they just play music and you don't have to, I think that would be helpful. I'm going to talk about it this week, and I'm pleading with you to help me build the Annie Frey Show Scholarship for the Lutheran Elementary School Association. So area schools, we have 37 Lutheran schools here in the St. Louis area, Missouri and Illinois combined. They are amazing schools. I went to a Lutheran school, but I also send my children to a Lutheran school. And I have been talking personally after making this known to you that there are scholarships available. There are people who have reached out to me and say, how do I get this kind of help? Because I really would love to provide this for my child or my grandchild. And I'm so excited to hear that because, there's a conversation that happens for families who want to have this choice, this opportunity for their children. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's way more affordable than you think it's going to be if you're looking to go to a Lutheran school. But also on the other side of that, this choice can be provided to local families when people like you help people like me who have the opportunity to put this scholarship together. We are trying to raise $15,000 by the end of the week. I don't know how close we're going to come, but I know that I can't do it without you. The website to donate directly is LESA, with an E, Lutheran Elementary School Association, LESA, stl.org/Annie. You're going to see my face up there, and you can click the donate button, and you'll see, just make sure you go to the Annie Frey Show Scholarship, and whatever you can give. There are big amounts that you can give, but there is anything that you are willing to turn over to help a local child have a better choice for education, have a Christian education. You do not have to be Lutheran to attend a Lutheran school at all. The environment is second to none, and we're hoping to make that a possibility here in St. Louis. We've got some exciting guests coming in the 2 o'clock hour this week. Lutherans, local Lutherans, you might not know they're Lutheran. It's not the leading thing that they might say, but they have a connection or a passion for Lutheran education or Lutheran community here. Today, Scott Warmann. You might have seen him on, he's a studio host for FanDuel Sports, also known as Bally, also known as Fox Sports News, whatever it is now. But when you're watching the Blues or the Cardinals or whatever, they go back to the studio. Scott, and he's a friend of mine. He's a friend of the show. And we're going to talk to him and get a sports update, but also talk to him about Lutheran education at 2:05. Can you please help me? I would love, love, love the opportunity to partner with you to make this possible for our local kids. Lisa, with an E, LESA.stl.org/Annie. When we come back, Ryan Schmelz from Capitol Hill on all of those confirmations that took place last week and what kind of hearings do we have in front of us this week? Some big ones, including one that has to do with this YouTube live chat poll. How much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health system? Not at all, some reform, or complete reform? Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Frey Show.
Just a step on the boss man's ladder, but you got dreams he'll never take away. In the same boat with a lot.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Land Story Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as a St. Louis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
Simple Minds is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on June 5th. Don't you forget about me. Want to go for free? Listen to the Mark Reardon Show this week from 3 to 6. We're giving away a pair of tickets every day.
Used to spend my nights out.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The only love I've known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back, being too far gone. You're as smooth.
Hand on the Bible, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Pete Hegseth.
I, Pete Hegseth.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help you God?
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
So there you have J.D. Vance swearing in our new Secretary of Defense after a squeak-by 50-50 tie in the Senate in that confirmation vote. Mitch McConnell joined Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski to vote against Pete Hegseth, but J.D. Vance found his way back to the Senate, a pathway that he has taken many times before as a United States Senator, cast the tying vote, and we do have a confirmation with our new Secretary of Defense in Pete Hegseth. Now, that was last week's news, and we know that there's a lot set forth with hearings and confirmations that are coming up here now. That's why we bring our friend Ryan Schmelz back on the show with us, Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. Ryan Schmelz, thank you for being with us here today. Lots of busyness last week. I think that this is just going to continue on. Ryan, give us the lay of the land there on Capitol Hill.
Well, fortunately, it will not be as busy as last week because we are not going to start the week with an inauguration. So it'll be at least a little bit lighter in that regard. And also, it helps that House Republicans are down in Florida welcoming President Trump and President Vance this week for their issues conference. But, this week is going to be huge for what I'm calling the big three. So you got Tulsi Gabbard, Robert Kennedy Jr., and Kash Patel all having their confirmation hearings after some serious delays over the last couple of weeks. But, these are probably the three that are going to be the most contentious and face the toughest uphill climb to getting confirmed outside of Pete Hegseth. Though I would add Lori Chavez-DeRemer as somebody to watch too.
We're speaking with Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill at Fox News Radio. Do you have a sense that, if the same three wanted to vote against these future nominees here, they could do that? J.D. Vance can break the tie, and a win's a win in the win column. Is there more speculation with any of the three coming up here this week that maybe it won't be as simple?
It probably won't be, and the reason I say that is, number one, after you see the Hegseth nomination end with a tie, now you know that Mitch McConnell could be somebody we might want to watch as a game changer with a lot of these votes, and certainly I think Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins were people we were always watching for, but each nominee is different. There's different concerns that Republicans have about them, and there might be some things that Democrats like about them. So when you take somebody like Robert Kennedy Jr., he runs the risk of losing Republicans because he's been a Democrat his whole life. Certainly he has a vaccine stance that's controversial to some people. And at the same time, with the fact that he's a Democrat, he might be able to get some Democrats on board with voting for him because, they're not going to find anybody who's more to the left on abortion than RFK Jr. That's just the simple reality of it. So that might be an opportunity to get some more on board. But also you look at somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, also somebody who was a Democrat in Congress, had a pretty progressive voting record during her time here, also endorsed Bernie Sanders during the 2016 presidential election cycle. That might be something that's a concern for Republicans, especially with some of her past statements on the Assad regime, some of her past statements on Russia. That might be an issue for a number of Republicans, but there could be some Democrats who might flirt with the idea of voting for her.
We're speaking with Ryan Schmelz right now. Ryan, so, in my mind, I'm thinking Donald Trump, he just wants to get him across the finish line. How the sausage is made doesn't so much matter to him. He's got bigger fish to fry at this point in time, so he doesn't need to micromanage it. But how much influence, how much frequency and communication is there between the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and these senators who will have the ability to vote for or against his nominees?
Well, I think there's a decent amount of communication between President Trump as well as the Republicans who are in leadership. Now, a lot of the ones that are in leadership are not the ones that President Trump has to worry about when it comes to potentially being a no vote on a number of his nominees. So the extent to which maybe somebody like Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski is talking with President Trump, I'm not quite sure about that. But like you said, I think President Trump's goal is just to get some of these members over. There was this time briefly where President Trump was flirting with this idea of recess appointments, what essentially would be that Congress would have to go into recess and then they can appoint these nominees without Senate confirmation. But even some of Trump's most staunchest allies have kind of shot down that idea and said the best way to do this is the traditional way, which is hearing, vote out of committee, then vote on the Senate floor.
Well, Ryan, a lot of that has to do what are the tools in our toolbox, and the recess appointment one is the tool that's way down there deep into the back, and you kind of got to dig to get it, and then you pull it, and you're like, gosh, I hope this is still a good idea when you pull it out to use it. But I'm wondering about the Mitch McConnell vote against Pete Hegseth, the Mitch McConnell votes that might come in the future. This guy, just not too long ago, was the leader of the Republicans in the Senate, and now he looks like he's in the vast minority of the majority, voting against the nominees of President Trump. I haven't heard a whole lot from Mitch McConnell. What's the status of his ability to have influence or impression on the Republicans in the Senate right now?
Well, he certainly has a lot of influence just for the simple fact that they have a slim majority, and every single vote against one of Trump's nominees is going to be costly. And like you said, Mitch McConnell has kept a pretty low profile ever since he stepped down from leadership. And for the most part, for somebody in leadership, he always kept a low profile. He didn't talk to the media much. He would not give hallway interviews. He was somebody who, if you wanted statements from him, you had to wait for his weekly press conference. And now he's not a part of those weekly press conferences. So it's really hard to gauge what Mitch McConnell McConnell is thinking and what he's doing, unless he's out there giving an exclusive interview to a certain outlet. But yeah, I think he's going to be an X factor moving forward. And what's ironic about this whole thing, Annie, is that last time Donald Trump was president, 2016, 2017, he was reliant on Mitch McConnell to get his nominees across the finish line and getting his judges confirmed. Now he might be the biggest thorn in Trump's side.
Yeah, it's really it's politics, I guess. The tables are always turning. What's it like now? How long have you been reporting on Capitol Hill? When did you start?
I've been reporting on Capitol Hill. I think it'll be 2 years now. I was kind of flip-flopping between here and the White House before that, but now solely Capitol Hill, still White House here and there.
So you've got two Stark administrations to compare here, majority differences to compare here. What kind of access are you being given? What kind of opportunities are you being given right now to get to answers from people who represent those American taxpayers and voters?
I think it's a decent amount. I think when you talk about somebody like Leader Thune, he's a lot more accessible than Mitch McConnell was. Thune will talk to the press in the hallways. Thune does a pretty good amount of hits on whether it's Fox or some other news outlets. And, he takes a good amount of questions at his weekly press conferences. So he's certainly somebody I think is a little more accessible and a little more out there and in the open than Mitch McConnell was. And, Speaker Johnson, I think he's kind of gotten used to being in the spotlight a little bit more, a lot more willing to take questions as he's leaving the speaker's office and walking to the House floor. Maybe wasn't like that when he first got the gavel, but becoming a lot more, I think, accessible than he used to be. And Kevin McCarthy, keep in mind, too, Speaker Johnson followed Kevin McCarthy, who I think probably did about 5 press gaggles a day when he was a speaker for that brief period of time. So it's a little bit different than Speaker Johnson, not as accessible and not as out there in the open. But I think he's getting a little bit more out in the open and taking questions a lot more than he used to.
Ryan, I've seen this discussed on X a lot. And it's, just because you see it on X doesn't mean it's true, but it means it might be true. People are suggesting that there is a Democrat senator who is considering flipping their party. And I've seen a lot of high-profile people retweet it. A lot of people think it's John Fetterman. There are some very far-left progressive things about John Fetterman. Do you know, is any of that sound like that might be within the realm of possibility that there might be a Democrat senator that is looking to change parties?
I've heard it briefly floated. I've seen it shot down more times than I've seen it confirmed. So I think that it's highly unlikely John Fetterman flips. He's made it very clear, just because he's taken some stances and made some statements, whether it's about Israel or being open to negotiating with Republicans on a bill like H.R. 2 or the Lake and Riley Act, he's made it clear he's still a Democrat. I mean, I believe when he was campaigning and going back to when he was a candidate for previous offices, he's pretty far to the left on an issue like healthcare. John Fetterman, I believe, supports Medicare for all. So he aligns more with the Bernie Sanders wing of his party than he might with more of the moderate wing on an issue like healthcare. But I think because of the certain issues that have been in the news, whether it's border or whether it's Israel, he probably has come off as a hardline moderate or even to the right on some issues, when in fact he still is a Democrat. He still endorsed Bob Casey for re-election. He still supported President Biden. So I don't know. If it's anybody, I think that's the only one I've heard discussed, but I haven't heard anything hard evidence that would give you any indication that he's actually going to pull the trigger and switch parties at this point.
Sometimes I think that his opinions might be more popular among other people who are Democrats in the Senate, but he just has no fear in saying them out loud. Some of those thoughts might be a little more internal for people in his own party. Before we let you go, I want to move over to the House real quick. There's a super slim majority there. How's Mike Johnson doing managing the Republicans in the House, and is he going to be able to get the job done for Donald Trump that he needs to get done?
I think it comes down to what they're going to try to do with this one big beautiful bill that Trump is talking about, the reconciliation package, what they try to put in it, and what they ultimately can get through. When you have just 2 votes or so that you can lose, it is quite the challenge. And the majority is only getting slimmer because you got Elise Stefanik leaving. You have Michael Waltz, who's already left. Matt Gaetz' seat has not been filled yet. So the numbers keep going in the wrong direction for House Republicans. But if Mike Johnson's able to get this through, there will be a lot of people who are happy. From what I understand, from what sources have told me, is that when he has been meeting with President Trump whether it's with John Thune or separately, but they did have a meeting at the White House not too long ago, and Johnson made it very clear that they've got to do something about government spending if they're going to do anything about this reconciliation package. And sometimes when you talk about spending cuts, there can be some good things in there that are costly, but if they are in fact able to utilize DOGE, find certain parts of government waste where they can find those cuts and stick that into the reconciliation package, they could find a win. But it's just going to be very difficult when you're talking about a package this big with so many things that could go wrong or turn one member off or another member off and get them to vote no.
Ryan, what's the deadline on the one big beautiful bill, or maybe the two that we've heard the president say he would be okay with?
Yeah, there's no real timeline for it. I think the timeline that's more notable is that you do have a March 14th government funding deadline that Republicans are going to have to do something about at some point, and maybe they'll need Democrats to get on board if they're going to do something like a continuing resolution, which would be an extension of government funding, which is the most likely outcome at this point. But from what I'm hearing, I think they want to have something maybe by the end of February in terms of bill text for reconciliation. But I think we're still kind of trying to figure out what ultimately their approach is going to be.
Well, Ryan Schmelz, it's a pleasure to have you on. We're going to work on getting you in here pretty regularly now so we can get that start of the week setting of what's taking place on Capitol Hill, because when you've got a Republican majority in both chambers of Congress and a Republican president, things can go pretty quickly, and we're looking forward to your coverage of it.
Looking forward to it, Annie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan Schmelz. We appreciate you. He's the Fox News Radio, Capitol Hill, and White House correspondent. You can follow him on X at Ryan Schmelz Fox. Go follow him for all the updates. We're going to take a quick break. Wiggins America, we come back, the Monday Roundup. The stories you might have missed over the weekend. Ryan Wiggins is going to give us that update in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
Found the bottom of the bottle's always dry.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan are right there for you at 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Stewie is your connection to improving the status of your current mortgage loan or making sure that when you buy your next home, you do so in a great economical fiscal position. 314-324-4440 is the number to call. Why choose Stewie and the Bagel Loan? Because the Bagel Loan is called the Bagel Loan. It looks like a zero. You pay $0 in closing costs to get this loan acquired. $0. You know, at the end, when you're like signing papers and everything, you're like, okay, here, write us the check for the closing costs. That's a four-figure, probably sizable check that just doesn't have to be written when you use the Bagel Loan with Stewart's American Mortgage. You can reach him directly with a call or a text at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, or just Google Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and would like to learn how linking to the market eliminates your fees and will generate you more income? Would you like to know how to lock in your gains every year without selling, even when the market's going down?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is: how much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health system? Not at all, some reform, or complete Reform. Those are your choices today. We're looking forward to the confirmation hearings this week. Let us know what you think about this question by typing in Annie Frey on YouTube, and today's date will pop up. You'll see the live stream. You'll see the question. You can answer it all right there. 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app. This is the Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Gosh, this is such a great song, and every time we play the song, I say, what does this remind you of?
Jumping?
Anything else? Anything else? Anybody?
Jumping beans?
Jumping beans?
Yeah, jumping beans.
That's weird.
I'm going to stick on the jumping theme here.
Reminds you of jumping too?
Yeah, I'm a jumping guy as well.
Annie. Don't you remember the Pringles guy?
Yes.
The commercial?
I remember you talking about it more than the commercial.
This is the same This is verbatim the same conversation we have every time this song plays. And the one from
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, it's from the Twix commercial. Yes. And they're like, oh gosh.
Oh, I remember those.
Remember when we were kids and we had 4 channels of TV to watch and you just watched the same television channel over and over again?
Commercials.
I remember the commercials more
they
than
were an art form.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to some extent they still are, but they were.
Some people think so.
Part of
Some
the
producers
national
do.
conversation much more.
Yeah.
Back then than they are now.
I would really love it if anybody remembers Pringles Jump Around to tell me that in the YouTube channel to make sure this is not some butterfly effect or Mandela effect thing. Not butterfly effect. Mandela? Isn't that where you remember something?
It is, yeah.
Mandela effect, yeah.
Like Chick-fil-A, does it have a C in the chick or not?
C, you mean a K?
Ooh, what? Which is it, a C or a K?
Chick, is it CK
I think
or
it's
is it K?
It's CK.
It's just no.
Yes, it is.
Here we go.
Oh no!
Told
I
ya.
thought it was just a C. Somebody Wiggins.
I actually, before you started, wanted to talk a little bit about our scholarship that we're doing here. Our fundraiser this week, we're raising money for helping local kids. So this money that we raise stays here in the St. Louis area. If you can hear us, there are 37, maybe more I was in Jersey County this weekend, and we come in crystal clear in Jersey County. That was so cool to see because that's up there. We're in Jerseyville. But if you are in the listening area right now and you are interested in supporting Lutheran education, I need your help. LESA, that's Lisa, stl.org/Annie. That's what we are doing to raise $15,000 to establish a scholarship. If we raise $15,000, the reason that's our goal, we can get a $10,000 match and we can have a scholarship that is endowed. And I'm just incredibly privileged and honored to be able to have this opportunity to grow this, but I really, really need your help. So if you've got $10 to spare, $100 to spare, whatever you have to spare, if Lutheran education has touched your heart, Lisa with an E, LESA.stl.org/Annie. Okay, now you can go.
That's good stuff. All right.
Thank you.
Monday Roundup. This is what you missed over the weekend, although this first story, I'm going to guess most people probably paid at least a little bit of attention to this. Did you guys watch any NFL this weekend?
No.
Mm-mm.
No, okay. Because even I was watching the scores. I wasn't watching it on live TV, but I was paying attention.
I did indeed watch.
I figured you did at least. But for a few seconds Sunday night, Jim Nantz and the CBS scorebug gave the Bills some hope during the fourth quarter of the AFC Championship game. Is this a story that you're following, Ethan?
No.
Okay. Josh Allen's final heave that went through the hands of a diving Dalton Kincaid had fallen incomplete.
Yep.
So it was kind of like, okay, that's the game, right? So this moment is the Bills' chance was to tie the game, what ended up being their final offensive snap Sunday.
Bills played the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yep. It evaporated in a loss right then, but in the aftermath of that play, Jim Nantz, the play-by-play broadcaster, said that there'd been a flag thrown and the network added its yellow graphic to the score bug at the bottom of the screen. I didn't see a flag thrown there, said Tony Romo. I'm told there's a flag, Nance replied. There was no flag. That really was the end of the game. But if you were watching it and you're a Bills fan, you had to be freaking out going, wait, there's hope. There was nothing.
Yeah, so I do remember this going on last night, but I didn't know that it had been made like into an actual story and that there was some movement behind this. But that was really interesting. I am curious, all those broadcasters, at that big of a level have people in their ear, producers in their ear, telling them when to go to break, when different things are happening. They have stat people next to them that are sharing a bunch of different information with them.
Ethan does the same thing for me on this show. Everything that I say really goes through Ethan.
Basically. Which is a really powerful position. That you're
Especially
doing this for
the things about you, Ryan.
Who do you think writes those monologues?
It's not me. It's not a full team. It's just you.
Ethan loves to say dramatically. Go on.
I kind of struggle with it sometimes.
But this is what she would say, so he writes it in there.
Don't be so dramatic.
But anyway, someone had to have, like he said, someone had to have told him that there was a flag. So I would be curious. I mean, we'll never know, but I would be curious as to what someone saw to make them think that there was a yellow flag on the field.
If Nance was told in his ear that there was a flag, and Nance looks like a doofus right now for saying that, should Nance tell everybody that somebody told him that? Should he out that it was somebody else, or should he just say...
Well, he did say that in the broadcast. He said, well, I'm being told that there is a flag. So he wasn't throwing anybody under the bus, but he was referencing...
He's giving home addresses.
Yeah, exactly. The question, though, is, Ethan, if you're always in Annie's ear, who is in your ear right now telling you what to say?
It's just divinely inspired.
It's Brad.
It's Brad.
Okay. All right. All right. Next story. Post Malone just got his own Oreo flavor.
I'm really happy for him.
Me too.
I love Post Malone.
Me too. I feel like he needs more attention and product placement. It is, though, it sounds fantastic. He calls it the best Oreo ever, of course. The rapper turned country star.
Be awesome if he was like, it's my Oreo. It's all right.
Yeah. It's not what I would have chosen,
It's okay.
but, it was they needed a new flavor. He says it is a salted caramel and shortbread cream between both a chocolate cookie and a golden cookie.
So it's something for everybody.
I mean, this sounds like it might be the perfect Oreo.
It's the DEI of Oreos.
I guess it is.
Caramel? You got it.
Yeah. Salted
Shortbread?
caramel.
You bet.
Shortbread.
Chocolate?
I'm beside myself. I'm like, how did you create the perfect Oreo? And where do you go now?
Is the original Oreo the best Oreo?
I actually like the golden cream double filled better.
I'd prefer them.
You like the original better?
No.
The golden cream better. Ethan?
Oh, it's such a hard decision.
Oh, no, I was actually asking you if that's what she really believed.
I just told you.
You're not following the script, Ryan. We're not supposed to talk about it.
You're right.
Anytime you encounter like a traditional Oreo, though, if it's like an ice cream topping or something like that, aren't you like, gosh, this is just great?
Yeah, I got no problems with any cookies and cream flavors.
I feel like it's, I never choose it, but every time I have it, I'm like, this is great. You guys should try this.
As long I prefer them all double stuffed though.
Me too.
Is anyone else like just regular thin? I don't know how people do the thin ones. I'm like,
no,
you're like taking away the best
and
part.
I'll tell you what, that is the one brand name that you just can't get an off-brand. If you try a different brand, they're their own thing.
But they are the off-brand.
That's what they are. They're not Oreos, and they're not close to Oreos.
What are we talking
Right, but
about
Hydrox
right now?
was the original one.
That doesn't make them. That doesn't make Oreo the off-brand.
So Oreo was the imitator, and they surpassed Hydrox.
They clearly know what they're doing.
What is I've never even heard of that.
Really?
No.
Go look in the bottom of an old person's freezer.
Ryan, I'm coming over after work.
No. That was a good one. But I was picturing you just walking into somebody's house and being like, I'm going to need to see your freezer. All right.
Open the freezer.
Yeah. Look, I'm on the radio. A quad-demic is apparently hitting the U.S. right now. Any ideas as to what a quad-demic might be?
Is it 4 different pandemics?
Yeah.
You didn't run that through the proper channels, Brad. You were supposed to tell Ethan. I didn't know.
It is
Quademic
four different pandemics going on at once.
Four-demics.
Yeah.
That's right,
That's
Annie.
what we do.
Genius again.
Four signs of the demics. I think Pritzker is one of them.
Yeah, 4 signs of the apocalypse. Influential.
What?
Come on now. Come on. Influential.
Man, Ethan, you should do some work with him. Help him out a little bit.
If you can tell, I'm the only one on the whole show that doesn't have somebody in my ear.
Oh, we can tell.
Influenza, COVID-19, RSV, and norovirus are all at very high levels around the country.
So wait a second. Flu,
COVID, RSV, norovirus.
That's every summer. That's every winter.
That's what I was saying. The whole time I'm reading this, I'm going, isn't this every winter?
We just called it a quademic so that people would be scared and Democrats would be like, see?
Exactly. And people will wear
and
their
I'm
masks
like, yeah,
more.
I see. It's the same as every winter. Everyone's sick.
I don't know if I can ever hear the word
Demic?
pandemic and not associate it with what we went through in 2020 now. So anything that is below that level or is not involved like significant amounts of people dying, I'm not even going to be able to, I feel like, associate it with a pandemic.
The other thing, too, was like, Ethan, how old were you? What year were you when COVID hit?
I was 19, 20 years old.
College.
Yeah.
Did you stay home from college then?
I was at community college, so I was
you were
already
at home?
Yeah.
If you experienced this, I would say almost even younger than Ethan did. If you experienced COVID and that lockdown, you don't realize how abnormal and outrageous it was.
Yes.
Because you haven't lived enough of your own independent life to understand how much you pulled back. Ethan, you probably have a little bit more of an understanding of that, having been closer to your 20s. But if for our children who just did school for a year at home, they just think that that's like a possibility. It's like a really long snow day. You have them. They don't happen very often, but they happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen.
It's just amazing at that age that you can just tell a kid this is the way it is, and they just go, "Oh, okay."
Oh, I do stuff like that all the time.
I mean, it's good, but it's also like surprising that they're just so adaptable.
I remember being so excited that, I get a week off of school. This is great. And then a week became 2, and then 2 became a month, and then all of a sudden it was October, and I still hadn't been back to class.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, 2020 was a unidemic. This is a quaddemic.
Flu.
So clearly, don't leave your house.
Neurovirus.
Influenza, COVID-19, RSV, and norovirus.
Reconnected with your bathrooms.
Yep. And that's the other thing is if you're getting these things, apparently they are at kind of high levels. So that's why you're hearing so many people go, well, I got symptoms of this and I got symptoms of that. Nobody knows what they have because you could have any number of multiple things at the same time.
Yeah.
So everybody's dealing with it. It's going around. Obviously, everybody's talking about it because people are missing work and school like crazy right now.
Another good reason to work on your healthiest version of you, because if you get neurovirus and you're a healthy person, you're going to do better with that than if you were an unhealthy person. If you get the flu and you're a healthy person, if you get COVID and you're a healthy person, that helps, which goes to our YouTube live chat poll for today. How much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health system? Not at all, some reform or complete reform. If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you can vote there. Can't wait to hear how you guys shake down on this. The other thing is, please, please, please help us this week raise funds to establish the Annie Frey Show Scholarship for Lutheran education in our listening area, Illinois, Missouri alike. Will you help us? It's Lisa with an E, LESA.STL.org/Annie. We're trying to get to $15,000, and we cannot do it without you. LisaSTL.org/Annie. Steve Moore next.
Jump around. Mark Kotz here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and would like to learn how linking to the market eliminates your fees and will generate you more income? Would you like to know how to lock in your gains every year without selling, even when the market's going down?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw. Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com. Wow, this year has flown by, and now you're planning to sell your home. You know, like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Well, now the timing is better, but you still have questions, right? Hey, Mark Cox here from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria Liu for years now. Why? Because Gloria Liu is St. Louis real estate expert, and if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know her like I have. I've seen her systems, her guarantees. I've even met her clients. In fact, I'm also a client. She's different than any other realtor, and if you need help selling your home for the most money, you need to do what I did. Call Gloria Liu. Here's another tip. If you have a home to sell in Crestwood, Shaw, Maplewood, the Central West End, you must give Gloria Liu a call. Take it from me and call my friend Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The Trump border czar isn't backing down. Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's defending the start of a promised mass deportation of illegal immigrants, beginning with threats to public safety.
Anybody in the country illegally, they're on the table, but we're going to go after them in a prioritization that makes sense. The worst first.
Tom Homan also telling Fox News local police were thanking ICE agents who made hundreds of arrests in Chicago over the weekend. The mayor of Paterson, New Jersey, Andre Saya, says the sweeps are spreading fear in the immigrant community.
We're also receiving reports that people are not going to work, that children are not going to school, and people are reluctant to go and even visit their doctor.
He says they won't stand in the way of proper investigation, but that individuals need to know their rights. Washington State's Democratic governor just signing an executive order to create a team aiming to protect immigrant families.
Broadly speaking, the team will look for ways we can improve agency policies and procedures to help us respond to and support families who are separated.
Governor Bob Ferguson says it includes ensuring the children of deported immigrants have someone to care for them and uninterrupted access to education. The U.S. Supreme Court declines to hear a case about one state's lifetime ban on felons voting.
A group of Mississippi residents with felony convictions sued to be able to vote in their state, challenging a Jim Crow-era law that bans felons from voting for life. Those challenging the law argue it's not fair. They say if a felony is non-violent, like forgery, then keeping them from voting violates the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause and violates the 8th Amendment policy against cruel and unusual punishment. While more and more states over the years have been allowing felons to regain voting rights, a lower court did reject the felons' argument in this case, and the Supreme Court has declined to consider a challenge to the law, which is enshrined in Mississippi state constitution.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America's listening to Fox News.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Feels pretty good out there, especially compared to where we've been. Temperatures about where we should be, though it's breezy. 51 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, only 32. On Tuesday, sunny and 52. Wednesday, sunny and 52. We've got some rain, all rain, Thursday night, Friday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
There's no better time to give your body nutritional support with Neovitin than right now. Start the new year off right with Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins give you a nutritional base with B vitamins to support energy, vitamins A and C for immune support, and our physician-formulated proprietary 4-ingredient blend for daily support that you won't find in any other multivitamin. Find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-668-6655. That's 800-668-6655. Again, that's 800-668-6655.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
January is a great time to practice your 2A skills at the Range St. Louis West, the only NSSF 5-star shooting range in St. Louis County. Right now, you have a chance to win a custom range-themed hockey jersey and a pair of tickets to a Blues game by playing their Shoots and Scores promo all this month. Go visit them at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. You can shop online anytime at therangestl.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I'll see you at the range. Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
This notion that presidents should come into office on day one and sign a bunch of executive orders saying, I declare as king that eggs shall be $2 a dozen, is kind of ridiculous, and I'm glad that President Trump didn't do that. I think the things that you're seeing in terms of making energy less expensive, making the federal government work better, ultimately, if they don't bring prices down, Trump will face political backlash for it. But I think this idea that on day one a president is supposed to sign a bunch of executive orders when Barack Obama never really did, George W. Bush never really did, Trump's first term never really did. It's an unusual way to go about policymaking.
There's a CNN expert talking about the price of eggs, which now apparently they only care about being high since Trump has been the president for a week. It's pretty unbelievable. Let's talk to our friend Steve Moore about it. He knows everything economics. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation and a Trump economic advisor. Steve, welcome back to the show. We're glad to have you.
Hi, Annie. Boy, my head is still spinning around from that amazing first week. By the way, it's amazing, isn't it? It was exactly a week ago, almost to this hour, that Donald Trump took the oath of office. It seems like it's been a lot more than that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Given what's happened in the last 7 days. But I wanted to say something about this issue, but by the way, I'm amazed at what this man does. I've gotten to know him, very well personally and spent time around him. The guy's indefatigable. He just does not stop. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He keeps going and going and going and going. And remember last week, he gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, goes to the prayer breakfast, then he meets for tea in the White House with Joe Biden, and then he has the big lunch, and then he has the swearing in on the Capitol with all the millions of people watching, and then he starts signing executive orders, and then he goes and does he has all the balls and all that stuff and all the parties to go to, and then he has they had that big thing in the arena. That because they couldn't, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning, he's still signing executive orders. It's like he's been up for 20 hours.
Yes.
And, I mean, it's really an amazing thing. But on this issue that you were talking about prices, I want to make sure people understand this. We're not going to overall cut prices. In fact, we don't want to. Deflation can be even more harmful to an economy than inflation. What we want to do is stabilize prices so they don't keep going up. You see what I'm saying? So we might see a reduction in gas prices as we produce more oil, and I think we could get the price of oil down to $2.50 a gallon because Trump is going to produce a lot of energy, and maybe eggs prices will probably come down as well. But the point is, what you want in a good monetary system is just stability in prices. And so that's what I think. We're going to bring that inflation rate back down to 1 or 2%. Remember, it went to 9.1% under Biden in 1 year.
Yeah, and I think that what Americans want is a whole lot of things. Lower prices or affordable prices is certainly one of those things. Border security. We've seen President Trump that he's making good on his commitment there to secure the border.
Sure
and, this whole package deal that comes with this new administration. But still, 1 week into his presidency, he has delivered on so much that he committed to the American voter.
It's amazing. It really is, and he doesn't stop. And how about his big coup with Colombia, where he said, if you're not going to take these, migrants back, we're going to hit you with a 25% tariff. And about 30 minutes later, they said, okay, we'll take the migrants back. So he's an expert negotiator. By the way, I don't agree with everything that he's done. I agree with about 80% of it. I mean, but I thought, incidentally, I want to just tell you because I have some friends that went through this because I live in the swamp and I live near the Capitol, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people who were unjustly in prison on January 6th. Now, I do believe those who went to the Capitol and anyone who did anything to assault the police, they should be, they should have gone to jail for sure. But there were hundreds and hundreds of innocent people who were just out there exercising their First Amendment rights, and what they went through was hell. With the FBI going after them and putting them in jail, sometimes solitary confinement. So I am so pleased because I have friends that just went through horrible times that are now freed thanks to Donald Trump, and they never should have been arrested in the first place. So, those kinds of things. I mean, I'll give you an example of one I really like. It's just this patriotic thing. But from now on, at all of our embassies and all our government buildings and so on, there will only be one flag. It will be the American flag. We're not going to have the Palestinian flag. We're not going to have the LGBTQ flag. We're not going to have the Pride flag. And we're not going to have, the Black Lives Matter flag. It's going to be the United States of America and the Stars and Stripes. And I love that one.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think that his vision is definitely being implemented the way he committed to the voter. I know I don't have a lot of your time, but I did want to ask you this one question about the Trump tax cuts. Trump is committed to making sure that they get extended. What's at stake for the American taxpayer right now on whether or not Congress and the president can come together and get that big, beautiful bill done?
Well, it's one big, beautiful bill. It's going to be a dogfight. The Republicans only have a 2-seat majority out of 435 in the House. So that means they can only lose 1 or 2 Republicans. So you've got a lot of Republicans say, well, I want this and I want that, and so it's going to be difficult. But I think we are going to get that done. Trump has asked us, my group, to sort of lead the outside effort to get this done in terms of taxpayer groups and business groups all lobbying to get it done. And I just want to make sure that your listeners know, I know you know this, because we've talked about it. Doing nothing is not an option, because if we do nothing, then taxes are going to go up on the average family by about $3,000 next year because all the Trump tax cuts will expire. So it's really critical we get this done. I'm spending, not 20 hours a day, but I'm spending, 10 hours a day trying to make sure that happens. And I do believe we can get it done by Memorial Day.
Well, we're going to continue to get updates from you as we march towards that big, beautiful bill, whatever the president is able to do. Thank you for being our expert on this. We always appreciate you, Steve.
Thank you, Annie. Take care.
You as well. Bye-bye. Steve Moore, the Distinguished Fellow in Economics at the Heritage Foundation, a Trump economic advisor. To me, the Trump tax cuts getting extended is not as exciting as it really should be, because when Donald Trump implemented these tax cuts, I certainly felt the benefit of it. We just need him to continue them. So it's like action is required for status quo, as opposed to, we're going to pass a tax cut and you're going to feel it. Like, let's, for instance, talk about no tax on tips. Donald Trump goes to Vegas to kind of do a victory lap, so to speak. Do you know that a Republican hasn't won Nevada since 2004? It'd been 20 years since a Republican was able. I heard that on Fox this morning. I didn't realize that. Nevada is kind of a cherry on top. When we think about Donald Trump winning 7 out of 7 swing states, especially with the way Nevada does their elections, they have mail-in votes. The ballot is mailed out to every voter. So you have valid ballots just sent out everywhere. Mm-hmm. Eek. Donald Trump still wins. No tax on tips. The story on the campaign trail was that the no tax on tips idea came from them visiting Vegas, and a conversation with a server materialized into this. And now he's on the other side of the election in Las Vegas, championing the victory, talking about no tax on tips in Las Vegas, and then he walks out onto the casino floor and is like, "Hey, guys." And then they start chanting USA.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild time to be alive.
There are things that they're doing that are new. No tax on tips is one of them. And I'm speaking economically, of course, they're doing a lot new. But economically, another one, J.D. Vance said it last week, expanding the child tax credit. So some of these things will affect us personally, and we will feel them. But more than that, you're right. It's an extension of what already exists that we've already experienced that's been good for the average person, making a little bit more money, keeping a little bit more money. But I'm excited about the future of the country. And I know it's not so personal, but we've got to get spending under control, and that is a priority of the administration. So while that may not seem exciting to everybody, I'm excited about that.
Did you ever have to work for tips?
Heck yeah, I did. Golf course.
I'm always here if you need a tip.
Oh, I know that. I mean, I my favorite is though when I solicit for them, because when they're unsolicited.
Did you ever actually work for them?
I don't ever really actually work, period. But when I was there, yeah, I'd turn on the charm.
Have you ever worked harder to look like you were working than actually just working?
Yes. Yeah, I would say that's most of the time.
Blink twice if you're doing it right now.
I can't do that because I'm on the camera. But I'll give you a couple tips, by the way, just since we're talking about tips. Mm-hmm. One way to make yourself look busy is...
Here we go.
Is if you're ever like just kind of walking around and you don't have anything to do. I'm not saying I do that.
Carry papers.
But if you do, carry papers. Carry papers and walk kind of fast. Makes it look like
should you shuffle the papers
in a hurry? No, but you could have a couple of them. And
should you take them like by the earmark and just say like?
Oh, you don't have to always look at the papers. The papers are a prop. You don't have to pretend that you're looking at them. But you do have to hold them because then it looks like, well, he must be en route to something.
Yeah. This information was here.
Right.
And it needs to get to there.
Yeah.
But with the right person.
Right. And then if you add a little speed to that.
I love that this is in the Steve Moore segment. Go on.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it. Another way is just to, a lot of finger guns. Like you see somebody you haven't seen, hey, boom, boom, boom. What have you been up to? How's your weekend? And it feels like networking, but really you're not doing anything.
You big finger gun guy in the bathroom?
Not in the bathroom so much.
Urinal to urinal. Hey.
No, I can tell you.
I've never been. I don't know how it works in there.
That there's not a lot of talking in the bathroom.
Could be a pioneer.
Change things?
Yeah, go give it a shot.
Don't do that.
So to speak.
Don't do that. Please.
I go in there and I'll shoot my shot. I'll make it worthwhile.
You can't even take yourself seriously.
You know, another way to really waste time? Get on there. Have somebody come on who's reputable and really like drill down. Talk about the way the economy is going to change. And then be like, I'll be the guy that comes on after that guy.
Make the first guy look even better.
Yeah. That's your job, Ryan. Make everybody else look better.
We should consider that.
That should be a position on the radio.
I feel like now's not even the time to talk about our scholarship.
We've got just enough time if you want to.
I don't know what this means. Take it for what you will. I went to a Lutheran school. Ryan did not.
Oh my gosh, donations just jumped.
Yeah. I made our goal.
What? Amazing.
It's for the future.
Yeah, people in the 80s were like, the future will be fine. Now they've learned their lesson.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of that. I'm proud to be a part of that.
LisaSTL.org/Annie.
LESA, Lisa, STL.org/Annie.
I talked about it at church yesterday, and I walked out of church with $750 of donations.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah. That was so great. I go to a small little church with incredibly generous people. We're a very blessed little church. We don't have a school attached to our church, so when most Lutheran schools, well, I was going to say all, but there are some that are maybe joined to multiple churches. But most Lutheran schools are considered a ministry of the church that they're attached to. Most Lutheran schools, when I talk about how it's affordable, every Lutheran school can have its own unique way of funding. Some Lutheran schools you'll go and what's the cost to educate? That's what you pay. There are some Lutheran schools that you go to and the church funds the entire education of the child, which is wild. And then there are other various things that go in between. I send my kids to a Lutheran school where I'm not a member of that specific church that's attached to it. I'm a member of a different Lutheran church. Same thing. We go to church there every once in a while. But it's one of the things that I appreciate the most about a Lutheran education. And I say Lutheran because that's the kind of school it is, but you don't have to be Lutheran. I went to school with Baptists, Catholics, Presbyterians, Pentecostals, people who consider themselves non-denominational. In the 90s, it was mostly like Baptists that had kind of gone a little bit away from the core Baptist and became a little more non-denominational. I went to school with people who didn't have a church or a specific faith. And the climate that I was raised in the 90s, which is the same time, is so different today than it was in the 90s. My husband didn't go to a Lutheran school and didn't know anything about them really until not at a first-hand basis. I think he went to a Lutheran preschool, but when you're that little, preschool's preschool. But just the access to opportunity that you get when you attend this smaller school where there's a family atmosphere. I had a friend message me this weekend who attended an open house at one of the Lutheran schools, and she's like, it was so charming. Everything about it, she's going to work really hard on making it possible for her family. And you get the opportunity to turn your child over. Because when you send your kids to school, for the most part, I know your wife is at the same school your kids are, but for the most part, you're turning them over.
Mm-hmm.
And the environment that you are in when you're in a Lutheran school environment, there is a definitive understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And there is also the element of forgiveness, which you don't get at all in a public school because you can't really go that far. You could maybe have some sort of atonement or an apology or something like that, but it's not required. And I am very skeptical about, you could go to public school to public school to public school. Definitive right and wrong is not as definitive for me as I want it to be for my children to be raised in. These are the impressionable years. And I need to be hand in hand with my children's educators to know that they are being forged in what is good and right, and also, for me, biblical. And a Lutheran school makes that possible for them. And I'm hoping that I can partner with you to make that possible for another child here in the area. And if you've got $25 to donate, if you want to, like I always say, move the decimal however you need to, as generous as you can be, as God has blessed you, if a $5 donation is what you can do, it is a worthy donation. We can talk about the two pennies, the woman with the 2 pennies. LESASTL.org/Annie. LESASTL.org/Annie. Come help support us. Be a part of this. And if we get to $15,000, it's something that we can do in perpetuity and get that as an endowment. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show around the corner. Let's discuss this. How much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health system? Not at all? Some reform or complete reform? Annie Frey YouTube channel. Go there. Give us your vote. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Like Janine said, some, but by some I mean a great deal. I just don't think revamping everything is good, speaking as someone working in healthcare for 35 years. You agree with Janine? Let us know. We'll be right back.
I'm in love with your body.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Dittemore Group, that's 2 T's, 1 O, thedittemoregroup.com. For your home sale, for your listing, you want to work with Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, Tricia, the whole team, the staff at the Dittemore Group that are the very best, the #1 team and the #1 office in the Metro East with an extensive set of knowledge in the markets that they are selling in. You can go to thedittemoregroup.com and learn a little bit more about them. But if you're ready to start a conversation about some sort of transaction you're ready to make right now, or even if you just think 2025 is looking like it might be a good year, thinking maybe we'll be in a position to finally make that move to downsize because you want to travel more, to relocate maybe across a river or something like that, the Dittemore Group can help you with that. And you just have to reach out to them at 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. One more time, 618-531-4652. Call my friends at the Dittemore Group. You'll be glad you did. Online at thedittemoregroup.com.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Extreme cold weather coming in through St. Louis this mid-January probably. If you're having issues with your furnace, give me a call. If you were told you need a new furnace, without a question, give me a call. You'll be happy you did. We're all the same when it comes to like buying a furnace and air conditioner, just like with pretty much anything else. If you're like me, I want a furnace that heats. And in the heat of summer, I want an air conditioner that works. Pretty much simple. So is a more high-efficient air conditioner or a more high-efficient furnace give me more heat, more cooling? No, it doesn't at all. It gives you the exact same. So with that being said, you need to call me. Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600. Or you can do the online thing, and it's Bart Inman, Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
There is legitimately no reason why the leader of the city of St. Louis can't. Donald Trump's taken on two and a half hours of questions in the last 2 days. Why can't she express some leadership?
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Have you seen this video of Selena Gomez crying?
Yes. Yes, I have. Ethan showed it to me.
Do I play it?
Yes.
I do?
You have to. You wouldn't know it was her.
Well, she just sounds like every other lib on that. There's not ever been a moment in my lifetime when I have been so distraught that I was like, people need to see. I've been mad, and I've been in a position before where I think to myself, oh, I'm going in on this one. It's going hard. I also have a radio show. So maybe if I didn't have a radio show, there'd be a part of me that would be really distraught about things. Maybe I'd be the person who would go to social media to let it fly. But it wouldn't be me crying like a blithering buffoon without really saying anything. Like, the whole point of these videos is really more about just, I'm really sad. I'm a mess over this. To me, it's I don't understand the productivity of doing something like what Selena Gomez did. I'm just going to play it straight off Twitter. Oh, gosh, I hate listening to people cry like this.
I'm so sorry. How many people are getting attacked? The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to.
I promise. Trump is doing right now. You lost. You're sad that you lost. She's talking about the children. Now listen, I'm not saying that there isn't going to be a time here where it's going to look pretty sad. I think that it's very possible that Tom Homan has said very openly, like, if families don't want to be separated, they should all leave together. They can go together. Now, that's kind of cold and that's kind of heartless, but it's also the only way to go about fixing the mess that the Democrats have made at the southern border. That's the only way. And I understand that you're mad about it. I understand that you don't think that this is something that it looks sad, it feels icky, but what is the alternative? The alternative is unsustainable, and it's not American. To just open your borders, and Tom Homan has said repeatedly, he has said over and over and over again, there's no country in the world, or there's no country in the world where you can just show up and stay long enough and have babies, come in illegally, have babies, and those countries are like, you can stay here forever. You're a citizen. Have the whole schmo. That doesn't happen. And even if it did, that wouldn't preclude that it should happen here. Selena Gomez is incredibly uninformed, and I do feel for her in the sense that her lack of understanding and grasp on the situation is causing her distress. I don't really want anybody to be distressed over this, but I'm also not going to see her whimpering. She's deleted the video. I'm not going to watch her whimper over this video and go, well, she makes a point here that completely changes my mind on the subject of the matter. Just because you're sad, just because your emotions are strong on something doesn't mean the thing that happened needs to be completely changed so that you're not sad about it anymore. So, this is not Martha. What is her? Sandra Smith has Tom Homan on her show this afternoon, and I'm seeing this video. I'm seeing her face. I didn't even know it was Selena Gomez because she's so upset. I'm seeing her face on X, and I'm thinking to myself, who is this? But I'm seeing it over and over and over again. And then I scroll across a video where now Tom Homan is on Sandra Smith's show on Fox News, and they are talking about Selena Gomez.
Don't know if you've had a chance to see a video that has been going viral over the past hour or so. We're still working to clear it and show it. In fact, The Hollywood celebrity who posted it has now deleted it, I think because probably she faced a lot of backlash for it, noting even the New York Times and Fox News polls show that a majority of American respondents are in favor of deportations of criminals and gang members. She posted a video sobbing. She was crying in it. She said, all my people are getting attacked, with the picture of a Mexican flag. Again, she has now taken that down. But what do you say to those who are out there saying that these are everyday people, these are families that are being attacked and dragged out of their homes? How do you respond to that?
I don't think we arrested any families. We've arrested public safety threats and national security threats, bottom line. And look, President Trump won the election on this one issue, securing our border and saving lives. What happened on our southern border last 4 years is the biggest national security threat this country's seen, at least in my lifetime, because we got over 2 million known gotaways. We got a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got a record number of terrorists crossing the border on the terrorist watch list. We have 250,000 Americans die from fentanyl coming across the open border. We're going to do this job, and we're going to enforce the laws of this country. If they don't like it, then go to Congress and change the law. We're going to do this operational apology. We're going to make our community safer. We're going to save. Once we lock that border on continuous operation, you're going to see fentanyl deaths decrease, illegal alien crime decrease, sex trafficking decrease. It's just all for the good of this nation, and we're going to keep going.
No apologies, he says there. So I am so appreciative of the entire Trump's administration's willingness to be out front and answer to people. Not just we're the president, we won the presidency, our administration gets to do whatever we want. Oh, you've got a challenge to that? Selena Gomez is on social media crying about this. She's sad about it. I do have a heart for the emotion she's feeling, specifically if she doesn't completely understand the situation that's going on right now. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But for Tom Homan to be on Fox News after being out with the ICE agents, DEA agents, ATF, he listed in this thing when he was with Dr. Phil, he's like, we've got every agency out here because they're going after bad people, criminals. And when I say criminals, I mean, yeah, they came here illegally, but they're also committing crimes while they're here. These are dangerous people. They need the best of the best to go root them out of our society, of our culture, and send them back to where they came from, make them be somebody else's problem, not Joe Biden's America anymore, so they don't need to be our problem here anymore. For him to be out there and to respond in the way of, we're going to keep doing this, and you know why? Because it's what's compassionate and right for the American people. You want to talk about fentanyl, you want to talk about human trafficking, drug trafficking, everything that is going on in this country because of the open border policy that we had. We won the election. We're going to keep doing this, and we make no apologies. I like it.
To live in the bubble that you have got to be in, that Selena Gomez is apparently in we've had a Trump administration for 1 week that has gone after criminal illegal aliens. She gets on Twitter or wherever she posted this and says the Trump administration is attacking children. What world are you living in that you think that that's happening or true? Where are you receiving your news?
Patriot Paul says Selena Gomez probably only watches MSDNC and The View and lives in a Hollywood bubble of leftists. Or maybe she just watches TikTok. Mm-hmm. Or maybe someone just told her something and she went with it.
But that's the point, is that if that's the news that you think is happening, then you are misinformed, and unfortunately, you're working yourself up into an emotional frenzy that you don't need to be in. And it's really unfortunate to watch this because she's an influencer. Now, this may backfire, actually, because so many people are talking about it.
Then she's already deleted the video. So for whatever particular reason, she's, I really feel like when she's on there and she's like, the children. No, Selena.
No.
And and I'm saying this as somebody who believes that if you're here illegally, we have the right we have the right to say you have to go home to your home. And I probably as a conservative have a bigger heart for this issue than I think most conservatives would. And I also think that as a taxpayer and as a citizen, my compassion is probably greater than it would be if I were serving in an elected position. I think that my elected position, especially looking at whatever the 70-80% of people who are like, you have to leave. You came here illegally, you have to leave. That my reflection as an elected official would probably be more stringent than my heart on this issue as just a tax-paying citizen, because I understand that it's complicated, and I think that was influenced by my actual traveling to McAllen, Texas, to seeing the border, to sitting in Catholic Charities, which I understand what Catholic Charities is, folks. I get it. I understand what they were doing. I saw it firsthand, but I sat there and I colored pictures with these little children who had no English skills whatsoever, but they saw me. And they would come, I sat down at this table next to them, and they just wanted to color with me. And the truth was they had no idea what was coming next. I have no idea what they have been through. I don't know how they got in. I don't know where they are going. I don't know where they are right now. But they're real kids. They're children. And I can look at those children, and as a mother, I can't look at them and not think, like, would my child be able to sustain what this kid is? No way. No way. My child is blessed winning the lottery to be born in the United States of America, and I'm grateful for that, but it's also worth preservation and protection, and there's a way to bring people into this country, and shirking those systems that we have set up is not the way to do it. You either have systems or you don't. And unfortunately, one of the reasons why that type of emotion is warranted towards Joe Biden and the Democrats who have said, come. Joe Biden said, come. He told people in the Democratic primary to come. And you hear this all the time. How many times do the Democrats wash away every ounce of shame that they should have on this issue to say, this country was built with immigrants? It's not that simple, and you know it. You're not as stupid as you're pretending to be on that issue. And neither am I. You need to understand that while we are a nation built on immigrants, the people and the country that we've built with those people, you can't throw the door open and just let everybody come in, come hell or high water, without any sort of systems in place. Do you remember when your children weren't able to go to school because COVID? Do you remember when you weren't allowed to go into Walmart without a mask? Do you remember when they told you what you could and couldn't do? They put all of those restrictions on you as a citizen of this country, but they let everybody come in through the southern border with no restrictions whatsoever. And if you even blink wrong at it, they call you a name. Selective appropriation of rules and regulations, and it's all, the end game is always what's best for their political party. And guess what? It wasn't. It's what cost you the election. And I'm sorry, Selena, I truly am. The truth of the matter is, we have to get our country back, and then maybe we reform our immigration system, and maybe we make it so that people who want to come here, build a life here, respect our country, respect our laws. Maybe we create a system where that is simpler or quicker to do, but we can't just throw everything away where we are right now. You can't do that.
It's not wrong to look at this through the eyes of an illegal immigrant. It's not wrong to ask people to do that. But everybody around this issue is asking each other, well, why don't you look at it through the eyes of everybody? Look at it through the eyes of an illegal immigrant. Would you come to this country to make your life better? Yeah, you probably would. I would if I were.
Heck yeah, I would.
Heck yes, I would.
I'd steal a loaf of bread to feed my family.
But don't just stop there. And this is where the left stops. They say, look at through the eyes of an illegal immigrant. And that's it. That's when they stop. No, there's more people here. Look at it through the eyes of a taxpayer in New York. Look at it through the eyes of a business owner who's dealing with so many people you don't even know what to do with. Look at it through the eyes of the mayor of New York City. Look at it through the eyes of a teacher who has suddenly had an influx of people who don't speak the language, and you have them in your class. What are you supposed to do? Look at it through the eyes of a legal immigrant who went through the process. Look at it through the eyes of multiple people. Don't just stop with one. That's all we're asking. And yes, we will look at it through the eyes of an illegal immigrant because that's also fair. But realize how many other people are being impacted by that decision.
Or the parent who's lost their child because they made one bad choice and it had fentanyl in it and it killed them in their bedroom. And they had no idea that this was taking place. That has to stop. I am so heartened by the commitment, unfettered commitment that Tom Homan has to take out this sort of trash that we have in our country right now with these criminals, and to constantly go back to when he pushes back with Sandra Smith there, and he's talking about the hardened criminals that they're removing right now, that he calls them for what it is, and he's willing to go in with his people and get them out. When we get to the point where these aren't people who have come here and committed crimes and have no respect for anything, if we're talking about the people who came here to provide a better life for their family, those people do exist. That's going to be a different story, but it's still potentially going to need the same result. I'm a big fan of creating a separate entry to the country where if you self-deport right now, you get put into a queue that doesn't exist in front of people who are doing the system right. But if you're willing to leave and save us the time and the money and the danger, if you're willing to self-deport, I think you should get an asterisk next to your name with the ability to come back in. If you don't self-deport, I don't think you get to come back in. Put it on them. You want to be here? Let's make it so that you can be here. Not before other people who chose to do it the right way the first time, but let's figure out a way to make it for the people who really want to live here without having to live in shadows, without having to live in fear. Let's make a way for them to come back into this country the right way, the above board way, and you have to come find law enforcement to start that process. If you don't, then that's it. That would be an interesting situation to see how many people would say, I'll take you up on that.
I'm encouraged that I think that we have an administration right now and really compassionate Republicans who are willing to listen to those kind of arguments and say, look, this is a problem we've never really dealt with before. We're going to have solutions we've never dealt with before. So let's hear them.
Andy, I think the people that would take you up on that offer are the kind of people that you would actually want in the country. They actually are the people that want to be here. And so they're like, wait, if I do this, then I can come back in and have legal status. I'm in. Let's do that. And I think that's the kind of people that we would want.
And it doesn't have to be citizenship. It could just be legal. It could be a status where you can live here, work here, pay taxes here. Basically, everything the left says that these people are doing, but do it the right way. We'll see. I trust Donald Trump on this issue, and I trust that he will follow through on it. And right now, while they are taking out these criminals, no tears from me. None. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Well, I've been talking a lot about the scholarship that we are in a position to help right now. It's a huge, huge deal, and I'm very truly honored to have the opportunity to do this. The Lutheran Elementary School Association has created an Annie Frey Show Lutheran School Scholarship, and our goal is to raise $15,000. Right now, I'm asking you to dig deep in your heart and as deep as you feel comfortable into your wallet to see about helping provide a school choice for our local kids. This money helps the bi-state area. If you can hear my voice on 97.1 FM, you could be in a position to benefit from a scholarship from the Lutheran Elementary School Association. They've been doing this. Scholarships exist. They give out. I was talking to somebody who processed some of these scholarships at a local Lutheran school on Sunday at church, and she's like, the Lutheran Elementary School Association does so much help for families maybe just like yours. If you can help, if you are in a position where Lutheran schools, Lutheran education has touched you. If you've ever come up to me at an event and you've told me, Annie, I appreciate so much when you talk about Lutheran schools. I need your help now. This is an ask specifically for you. We are doing this week. It's Spirit Week on the Annie Frey Show because it's National School Choice Awareness Week. It's also National Lutheran Schools Week. And this scholarship is our goal, our commitment. This is what we're trying to do to help our community. But I can't do it without you. The website is lisastl.org/Annie. It's Lisa with an E, Lutheran Elementary School Association. And the goal is $15,000. So I need you. Will you help? We appreciate everybody's donations, big or small. Go to the website, give what you can, and be a part of providing school choice for local kids. lisastl.org/Annie.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
It's 2025 and time to get your home zero-resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Take 24% off all service for this month when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Some big confirmation hearings this week. One of them should be RFK Jr. And the question today in the YouTube live chat poll is, how much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health system? Is it not at all, some reform, or complete reform? Let us know what you think in today's YouTube live chat poll. It is 1:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Simple Minds is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater on June 5th.
Don't you forget about me.
Want to go for free? Listen to The Mark Reardon Show this week from 3 to 6. We're giving away a pair of tickets every day.
We were staying in Paris to get away from your parents, and I thought, wow, if I could take this in a shot right now, I don't think that we could work this out on the terrace. I don't know if it's fair, but I thought, how could I let you fall by yourself? Well, I'm wasted with someone else. If we go down, then we go down together. They'll say you could do
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I was clever.
Follow Annie on X at Annie Frey Show.
We'll get away with everything. Let's show them we are better. Let's show them we are.
If a nominee acts like a complete meathead or starts screaming like he or she's part of a prison riot, you know, people are going to say, whoa, we need to take a second look. But short of that, I think most, if not all, will be confirmed. The one who's most on the bubble, as you know as well as I do, is Tulsi Gabbard.
Senator Kennedy talking about Tulsi Gabbard as a nominee in Trump's cabinet. We know that RFK Jr., his hearing is set for this week as well. And our YouTube live chat poll for today, how much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health system? You've got three options: not at all, some reform, or complete reform. And we're interested in what you have to think about this. Jackie said complete reform. We are sicker and fatter than ever, and our life expectancy numbers are dropping. We need to restore quality of life. And then she lists some different ways to do that. Erica says complete reform. Our food supply is full of chemicals that are banned in other countries. The ultra-processed foods are leading to obesity and chronic health conditions. Ryan, do you have a strong feeling on this poll today?
I do, because of the role that he'd be playing. I'm actually some reform, because I think that there are things that he can do as Secretary of Health and Human Services that should be done. A lot of them are people listing right there, you know, with changing the way food, putting pressure on pharma. That's all stuff that you can do from the power of a position like that. There are things about Obamacare and about insurance that I would like to see change in the United States that he actually is not in charge of. So I would say, while I would love to see big reform across all health care, with his appointment specifically, I would like to see some reform.
Kurt says a cautious some reform. It will depend on what reforms are proposed. If I'm not being clear, remember, Obama wanted to reform health care. Brad, what do you think?
I think right now in the United States, we have something called sick care. We don't actually have we don't treat people to give them a cure. We treat people to treat people. We don't have cures. We have treatments, that sort of thing. So whenever I look at this poll, I really think that we need an overhaul of the thinking about how we go about healthcare. And I think that means that we might need a complete reform. So that's the way I'm going to vote in this poll. I don't necessarily think that we have to throw everything out, but I think that we need a change in mindset. When we had Dr. McCary on several weeks ago, he kind of pointed this out. We just need to rethink the way we think about healthcare in the United States, and I think that's why we need complete reform of the healthcare system.
I would say some reform. I'm always worried about when the government shows up and it's like, I want to fix everything. But a lot of what Donald Trump can do as the president is he can fix a lot of things by undoing quite a lot of regulation. Granted, as long as it's through executive orders and from the president, that can all be undone with the next guy or girl who gets into office. I need more information. I need more proof that what RFK Jr.'s plans are what's best for everybody, because I do believe we treat symptoms, not sources of diseases. I really want Jillian Michaels to come on this show because she talks about this stuff and has been talking about this stuff for so long. I watched Jillian Michaels on The Biggest Loser back in the day. I don't know, they'd be like 15, 20 years ago. And I watched her train people, and I always appreciated how she was so straight to the point in a time where there's a lot of soft out there. There's a lot of people who are trying to, feelings were big. And if you spend a lot of time, you gotta address your feelings, especially if you're talking to people who are significantly overweight on a TV show. There's definitely going to be underlying reasons why people carry as much weight as they do. But she was never willing to set aside the facts of, for instance, like I know you want to feel better about yourself. I know that you want to hit a certain number on a scale or hit a certain dress size. But if you don't lose 200 pounds, you are going to die of heart disease. You are going to die of diabetes. She would say these things in such a way that cut through to me as a viewer. Like, there are some harsh realities that need to be discussed without having it's not loving and caring to talk to someone about their feelings if talking about their feelings doesn't get them where they need to be to actually be healthy again. And from an analogy standpoint, it's kind of similar to the situation we have right now with our lack of border security, closed borders, people in here. Like, some of the things that we have to do to secure our country are going to be hard, difficult conversations to have. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be painful. It's not going to look pretty. But at the end, it will make us stronger and healthier as a nation. And you have to be willing to face hard truths, which is something that, like this whole I'm okay, you're okay, we're all okay thing, your victimhood is your strength. That's all crap. It's all crap. I cannot raise my children in a world where they think the weakest things that they have, the weakest parts of them, are going to be the things that are their biggest strengths. No, that's not how it works. The number one thing you can do as a parent is help your children to learn how to live independently of anything and anybody, especially yourself as a parent. It's the cruelest part of parenting. Your whole purpose is to make sure that your children don't need you anymore at the right time. And if you are in a position to do that, you have to be willing to say, this is the real world. This is reality. And your kids are like, this sucks. That's not fair. And you're like, now you're getting it. That's exactly right. It sucks. What are you going to do about it? You going to mope? You going to cry? You going to start, complaining to people? Because they don't care either. They're living in the same reality that you are in, that I'm trying to get you to be in, where, yes, it sucks. Now, if you want to choose to sit and wallow in it, you can join the rest of the people who are wallowing. You want to get ahead? Figure out where your weaknesses are. Figure out where the world's weaknesses are. Come up with a solution for you and get ahead. That is the reality that we get to live in once again in this country. I'm so glad we're doing it. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be good for the country in the long run. In so many different ways. I'm some reform. I'm like persuadable on complete reform, just not there yet. What are you? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote. Let's talk to Scott Warmann next. Don't go away.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. At the Williams residence, everything looked kind of the same from the outside. But inside, their lives just got way happier. 3 years of inflation and debt had crushed them. But for the first time, they had the cash to secure their retirement, pay off bills, and plan their future. They didn't win the lottery exactly. They did a genius financial strategy called the Sell and Stay program from Truehold. It's easy. Their home's value had rebounded greatly, so they quickly sold it to Truehold and banked all that equity in cash. But since they weren't ready to move, they could stay put with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold even paid their property taxes, home insurance, and essential home repairs. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is high. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Want to retire in 5 years or less? You can do it, just like Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa.
So we started passively. It was on vacation is when we realized we really need to take the plunge and be more active in this. Just because I'm an educator, I wanted to really know what I was doing. So it was just education on my part is really big. And I'm like, well, I could do that.
Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The Vice President sends a message on Lisa Brady, Fox News.
This is, I think, my 7th day on the job, and this is an incredible place to have my first official trip.
Vice President J.D. Vance in Damascus, Virginia, one of the areas impacted by Hurricane Helene.
The most important immediate thing that people here need is help recovering, help rebuilding, and that's what we're going to do.
He says the administration is putting people over bureaucrats. President Trump has ordered a review of FEMA after his trips last week to a flood-ravaged part of North Carolina and part of L.A. devastated by wildfires. It's day one at the Pentagon for new Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, with President Trump expected to sign an executive order reinstating some 8,000 troops separated from service for refusing to take the COVID vaccine.
Another executive order is expected to ban transgender troops from serving in the military, according to the New York Post, and could impact an estimated 14,700 transgender troops already serving, according to the Palm Center, whose research military officials pointed us to.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. The president's also expected to order a new space-based missile defense shield for the U.S. homeland. The Defense Department's Inspector General, one of 17 independent IGs who were fired over the weekend.
The dismissal of multiple government watchdogs is generating plenty of controversy. Inspectors General, they're independent watchdogs whose job it is to root out waste, fraud, and abuse within government agencies. President Trump claims it's standard to replace people serving in those roles, but typically those people stay in power through different administrations. Almost instantly, Democrats up on Capitol Hill claim Trump broke the law by not giving Congress at least 30 days' notice.
Fox's Mark Meredith. Many Republicans in Congress arguing the president deserves to make changes in the federal bureaucracy. Later today, he meets with House Republicans holding a conference in Florida on legislative strategy for the Trump agenda. America is listening to Fox News.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool Drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Feels pretty good out there, especially compared to where we've been. Temperatures about where we should be, though it's breezy. 51 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, only 32. On Tuesday, sunny and 52. Wednesday, sunny and 52. We've got some rain, all rain, Thursday night, Friday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749, 314-597-1749.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. Even if she accidentally knocks out a side accent diamond, Diamonds Direct will replace it free. Now, other stores claim to offer warranties, but the catch is that they won't honor it unless you bring your ring in for regular inspections. But at Diamonds Direct, inspections are never required. There's no gotcha clause. No fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Plain and simple, at Diamonds Direct, we stand behind what we sell, and we're committed to service it at no charge for life, period. It's all part of our commitment to provide you with the ultimate in value and total confidence before, during, and long after your purchase. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
We at the Annie Frey Show are making a big push to make a Lutheran education more accessible for local St. Louis area kids. And I need your help by donating directly at lisastl.org/Annie. That's lisastl.org/Annie.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Do what we think is best for the team, current and future, and obviously fans have their own opinion, and you know, we've got wonderful fans and they're knowledgeable. So I think a great majority of them understand what we're doing and approve it. Others don't. They think we should maybe go spend money and see if we can't get it back that way. But it's hard to do. I mean, even if you had that goal, that would be hard to do. you have big markets that are just going to do what they do. And we're not in a position to compete at that kind of level of payroll. And, there's a time to do it and a time to build. And, we're trying to, I think, balance that so that we have the opportunity to have competitive teams every year.
Well, that's Bill DeWitt Jr. He was speaking at Winter Warm-Up, and if you've been listening today, you know that it's Spirit Week here on the Annie Frey Show. We are celebrating school choice this week. We're celebrating specifically Lutheran education, and this week we have a fundraiser going to establish an Annie Frey Show scholarship so that we can help families in the 97.1 listening area provide that Lutheran education for their kids. You can go to Lisa, LESA-STL.org/Annie, LisaSTL.org/Annie to make a donation, and every bit helps, and we're grateful for everybody who's participated already. But Spirit Day today, we're wearing our favorite jerseys. I've got my Cardinals jersey on right now. I've always been a huge Cardinals fan, and I'm hoping against all hope that this year maybe we see a first-place finish in the Central Division. We're bringing our friend Scott Warmann on the show with us today, studio host for FanDuel Sports. Scott, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Good. So what's the name on the back of Annie's jersey?
Oh, Adam Wainwright, of course.
Of course it is.
Yes, Adam Wainwright. We've got a lot of Wainwright jerseys. It's my husband's. I stole it from him, but I also bought it for him, so I figured I didn't have to ask.
Oh, you share.
Yes, we share. He shares. He doesn't always know it, but he does. Scott, we're going to talk a little bit about Lutheran education and how it fits into your life in a little bit, but I want to give you the open floor here to talk about your hopes, your concerns for the 2025 St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, as you played the soundbite there with Mr. DeWitt, I think what he's saying is they're trying to balance, and I think that's kind of hard for most, if not all, Cardinal fans to understand. Because, and the reason I say that is because they're still trying to compete, but yet the message after the season was to reset. So I think there's the confusion there. Plus, we've been hearing for a couple of months, if not longer, about Nolan Arenado being dealt, and that hasn't happened yet, and therefore there really hasn't been much movement, if any at all, as we are creeping down the couple of weeks before the guys go down to Jupiter and start the camp before spring training starts. So
yeah,
I think that's where the confusion is, and I understand it. I think the Cardinals want to still try to compete and wish, like your wishes, Annie, and get back into winning ways and have a first place finish. But yet there's that part where, well, you're trading Arenado and Goldschmidt is gone. Well, why is that? Well, they want to give these young kids like a Dolan Gorman, a Jordan Walker, among others, an opportunity to see actually what they have. And I think that is that's where we're going to go. Apparently there's a trade that's going to be announced here. It was announced, or at least reported last night, that the Houston Astros were dealing one of their top relievers to the Chicago Cubs for really nothing. And basically they were getting this reliever's money off the books because they want to re-sign Alex Bregman, who has been their third baseman. It had been rumored that maybe he might go to several different other teams, but now that their Arenado trade got denied by Nolan, they're going back with Bregman. Well, as soon as Bregman, that domino falls, if you're following me here, Annie,
yeah,
that means that Nolan Arenado is probably going to be available for the teams that were maybe trying to get Alex Bregman. So with that, you're going to have, and the organization has mentioned that they are trying to reduce the payroll right now and give some of these young guys an opportunity. Now, the other part of the confusion, I think, with the fans is the fact that while you're going to a full-blown, what you say, reset, well, no, they're not. But part of the problem they have is they can't trade a Wilson Contreras. They can't really trade a Sonny Gray per se because they have no trade clauses. Now, if they could trade them along with a Nolan Arenado, who has said, yes, I'm willing to go to a certain amount of teams that can be dealt, then you're talking about a massive reset. But now that those two, specifically Contreras and Sonny Gray, have said, look, we'd rather be here and help the young guys and try to bring back winning baseball to St. Louis, that's where I think some of the confusion, and understandably so, can be with fandom. Now, can the Cardinals compete with the loss of Goldschmidt and Arenado and play these young guys? Oh, sure. Anything can happen. If Nolan Gorman and Jordan Walker, and I use those guys specifically because they're at the forefront, if they meet their expectations, there is that possibility. But again, it's one of those situations where we're kind of in a transformation right now. And I think the other part to kind of sit back and realize is if Arenado gets dealt, and I start to believe now that maybe that we will see this, Annie, that we will see Arenado go once Bregman gets signed, is if the season doesn't go as they're hopeful, well, then I think it could be for John Mozeliak in his final trade deadline of his career as the president of baseball operations and GM, it could be a very busy one where guys like a Ryan Helsley specifically is going to be a free agent. Is this organization going to be able to sign a guy like Ryan Helsley, who will be a free agent he after this season? I don't think they're going to be able to afford him. So you get something for him instead of just letting him walk and you don't really get anything at all. Then you have yourself a full-blown reset. But we're going to see a lot of young guys this year. We're going to see if they can materialize and meet some of their expectations. I think it'll be a very interesting season, to say the least. Hope? Yeah, there's hope. But it's not like seasons in past where we're guaranteed that, we're going to be there in the playoffs and we're going to finish number one in the Central Division. That's just not the reality of it.
Yeah. We're speaking with Scott Warmann, the studio host for FanDuel Sports. I think we went through this period of time where, we make the playoffs, but we never go far. For a while there, we'd make them, we wouldn't win a game. Okay, you're high five, you're in the playoffs. Now we're not even making the playoffs. I think my question and what I hear fans saying a lot is, do the Cardinals still have a commitment to excellence?
Right. Absolutely. And I think they do. I don't think that's ever left. I think the biggest problem for the fan base and the organization is we're treading, literally, Annie, we're treading areas of this organization back-to-back, no playoffs for the first time in a long time. And it could be 3 straight years. You go back to, 2 years ago, we hadn't had that many losses since 1990 or 91. That's 30 years ago. That's a generation that has never seen losing baseball like that. So it's obviously a different road that this team has traveled. I think there is some promise with some players, even within the organization, that are prospects. Their number 1 draft pick last year. Not only do you read stuff, but even people you talk within the baseball industry. J.J. Weatherholt is his name. He's an infielder from West Virginia, and he's very highly thought of, like a pure hitter. This guy probably will be up, barring some unforeseen circumstances, sooner rather than later. And the Cardinals caught a break since they didn't make the playoffs, and now they have this lottery for the draft, and the Cardinals will be drafting number 5 overall. So one would think that they could probably snare a pretty good prospect come this draft coming up in July during the All-Star weekend. So that's some of the positives. I always correlate this, and I've mentioned this whether it's on other radio shows or whatever, is I see a lot of what's happening with the Cardinals, the same thing that's happening with the Blues organization, Annie. There's just this transformation where both organizations, they know they have to go to kind of a youth movement, build up their prospects, build through the draft and what have you. But you also want to still try to be competitive. And that's kind of the situation the Blues are in right now. They're on the outside looking in as far as trying to get into the playoffs. And they've made a couple of deals, with veterans to try to push that while they're not spending that much money, even though with the salary cap, they can't spend that much money. But they have a ton of prospects that is going to be here. And I tell Blues fans, and I would even say this to Cardinal fans, it sucks, but you kind of have to have some patience with this whole thing. Because as you know, Annie, especially with social media and everything, everybody wants instant gratification. And it doesn't happen that way when you're trying to develop players. You can't throw a guy out there and go, hit 300. It just doesn't happen. They have to evolve. And that is the one thing the Cardinals did say that they addressed was, look, we have to do a better job, which has been a part of the Cardinal organization even before you and I were born, about how good the farm system had been for years and years and years. And it has fallen. They haven't spent that much money, and so part of the development is also a big part of having good teams, because even if those guys don't materialize with the Cardinals per se after they've been developed, you can use that chip to, let's bring in someone else if you're trying to, get a veteran that'll help a team maybe make it to the playoffs. Yeah. We're not at that position right now, Andy, and that's the best way I can kind of relay it. I know it's not what we're used to, but this is where we're at right now.
Yeah, I think what the fans want, both for the Cardinals and the 23 and 4 Blues, is they want to know that the organization is committed to getting to that excellence with some patience in order to get there. But they want to know that that's still the plan and it's not just a money game, because we've seen that happen a lot in the sports business as well.
Absolutely. And the one thing, and I was actually went to warm up, and I did interview John Mozeliak on the stage on Saturday. And one of the things that he and I discussed along with a lot of the fans, I know it's a grave concern, is, you're literally, and I can't blame the Dodgers, but the Dodgers is just swallowing up what it seems like almost every free agent. And you have the haves and the have-nots. And basically the Cardinals really kind of are the have-nots because they don't have that big monster TV deal like the other teams do, and they just stop bringing in the bucks like the Chicago Cubs or the New York Yankees or the Dodgers, as I mentioned, the Red Sox, go right on down the line. And I think this has to be a serious concern to baseball that needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. And here's the other thing. I hate to go ahead of myself here, but you all I know are baseball fans, because I know you guys talk about it passionately, is the fact that 2027, there could be a lockout or a strike. And I hope that we don't have one, because if they do one and it's a lengthy one, they could really hurt the game, Annie. And people that are way far tied into Major League Baseball more than me, they have their concern that we could see one coming up in 2027. So
yeah. In the 90s, it was very destructive to the game.
Oh, my gosh. It was terrible. They couldn't even get a TV deal. They were like paying Fox, who was just coming into its infancy, just to carry some games nationally. You're exactly right, Annie. It was terrible. And if you really think about it, come history, is the fact that, the Sosa-McGuire home run derby thing basically saved the game, and people started coming back in masses because of that. Other than that, they were struggling after that. They missed that whole season in '94. You're exactly right, Annie.
That's a good tip. It'll be something to pay attention to as these business deals develop in the next couple of years. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, Scott and I have had many conversations about sports, but also our connection. Scott, you are also a Lutheran, and you also know the benefits of Lutheran education, specific to here in the St. Louis area on both sides of the river. Lutheran education, very important to me as part of my education, and also how I send my kids to Lutheran schools. We're doing this fundraiser, and the Lutheran Elementary School Association is working very hard to make that school choice possible for our area kids and our grandkids. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about Lutheran education in your life, and maybe your thoughts on why families out there might want to donate to this worthy cause, or potentially check out a Lutheran school close to them.
Yeah. In fact, when you and I were texting yesterday, I mentioned to you one of the gals that I went to Lutheran North with, Jackie. Her name is now Brannicky. It was Floyd. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you ever heard of Brannicky Hardware, that's her husband, Tim. Tim was a year ahead of us at Lutheran North. He was class of '84. Jackie and I was class of '85. And I know Jackie is very deeply involved in LISA's, what I guess you guys term it, LESA.
Yeah.
But yes, I went to Grace Chapel Lutheran School in Bellefonte Neighbors, K through 8, went to church there, went to Lutheran North High School. And now that I live out west, I am at St. Paul de Pere, which is Manchester 270 essentially. And real quick story. This school, just like Grace Chapel, has been around forever. And they did an investment and put in a new school because the old school was really getting kind of dilapidated. And the response from the members, Annie, was amazing. And they basically, I think they have that, what now we call phase one, paid off for. Well, the demand now to go to St. Paul de Pere specifically, because it's my experience, is so massive that they said, hey, well, what if we tear down the old school and put a second phase where we would have 2 grades or 2 classes for each grade? Well, we almost paid probably 3/4 of what the loan was just from the people within the church alone invested in to get this thing started. In fact, if you drive by, I mean, they've got all kinds of construction going on right now, and the hope is, I think, within this August, we'll have this thing up and running. And they've expanded other things as far as music, the gymnasium, go right on down the line. But supply and demand, it's basic econ if you've ever learned econ. And our school here in St. Paul de Pere is supplying the demand for what people want to do, and there's more people wanting to go to private school. I can also tell you Christ Community Lutheran Church, which is in Kirkwood, my good friend Sam and his wife, two of their kids went there, and they're expanding as well. So the expansion of Lutheran schools is massive, and I can tell you that I'm forever grateful of getting the opportunity to go to Lutheran grade school and Lutheran high school. In fact, for Lutheran North back in the 80s, when I was going there, we were considered one of the top 60 high schools in the entire country.
Wow.
That's just solely academic, yeah. So you're getting great academics on top of everything else that is provided. I know Lutheran South is expanding by massive amounts. I think Lutheran St. Charles is too. I'm sure Metro East has grown massively. In fact, I told you Metro East was actually just starting when I was in high school back in the day before you actually went to Metro East Lutheran High School over on the Illinois side. So I can't say enough of what it has been and helped me, but I know others. Another quick story. My next door neighbor, Catholic, his whole life, and his daughter is in 8th grade, went to visit several different Catholic high schools. A couple of kids go to Lutherans, are getting ready to go to Lutheran South. They're like, let's give it a shot. And Jeff took his daughter, Emily. Guess what? They're going to Lutheran South as proud Catholics because they were so impressed with Lutheran High School South and what they are able to offer his daughter for the next 4 years. So, yes, I can't say enough about how much the Lutheran education and everything that is involved with the Lutheran education not only helped me, but helps so many other people.
Yeah, yes, those are wonderful stories and anecdotes that we could hear replicated in people's stories all across the listening area right now. And that's what we're really working hard to do with this scholarship, is make that opportunity possible for people who may not be able to make it possible for themselves. So thank you for sharing your story with us and that connection that you and I have through those Lutheran schools. And we're going to have you back, and we'll have you walk us through the Cardinal season every now and again, hopefully with some positive things to talk about. We'll talk about those baby birds and see how well they're doing this year.
I'm hopeful, Annie. I'm very hopeful.
we will join that hope. It's January. What do we have if not hope, for sure?
Well, hey, at least we're starting to melt all this junk in our backyard, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk to you again soon, Scott. Thank you for the time today. We're really grateful for it.
You got it, Annie. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Scott Warmann is the studio host for FanDuel Sports, or used to be Bally, and then used to be Fox Sports Network or whatever. I've had that connection with him for a while. I didn't realize that he was Lutheran or had participated in that. De Pere, the school at De Pere, St. Paul De Pere, I believe. Wonderful school. Wonderful. I connect to a lot of these different places through sports. We'll do volleyball tournaments in Missouri, or maybe we see we're in a basketball tournament. We see some of these CCLS, Christ Community Lutheran School in Kirkwood, wonderful facilities. But what we're trying to do here is make that possible for families across our St. Louis and Metro East area, and I need your help. Would you consider making a small donation, a large donation? We'll take whatever you can, whatever you are blessed to be able to donate, at Lisa, with an E, L-E-S-A, Lisa, STL.org/Annie, and help us get to that $15,000 mark by the end of the week. We'll be bringing some more people on who have those connections to that Lutheran education throughout the course of the week to help us celebrate National School Choice Awareness Week, but also National Lutheran Schools Week. It's Spirit Week. It's Jersey Day today. When we come back tomorrow, in the next segment, we'll talk about what Spirit Day will be tomorrow. You guys can have some input on that as well. If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, what kind of Spirit Days would you like us to enjoy here on the Annie Frey Show throughout the course of the week? We'll take all and any suggestions, as well as your vote on the YouTube live chat poll. How much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our healthcare system? Not at all, some reform, or complete reform. Those results with Ethan at the end of the show. Let's get Ryan Wiggins back in studio in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 On Command. Just tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app and stay on top of everything happening anytime, even when you're not close to a radio. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I could get used to this. Time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I was just scrolling through X, and there's a lot. I can't, like I've said this before, I can't get enough of it. There's just so much. There's so much on X. There's a post from The Onion. Remember when The Onion was the satire in the business?
I do remember that.
The Onion, if there were other satire sites, they never got as big as The Onion.
No, they were the gold standard.
Yeah, as far as the internet went, if you were like, oh, is that from The Onion? If something seemed like it was satire, you'd say, is that from The Onion?
Right.
People don't say that anymore.
No, in fact, they kind of say Babylon Bee,
Mm-hmm.
although I don't know if that's across the spectrum.
In our circle, they do. Well, here's a post on X, and it's from the actual Onion's official page, and it's a picture of Donald Trump, and I just realized that he has blood splatter on his face. The picture of Trump has blood splatter on his face and on his shirt, and this is the headline that the Onion wrote: "Bored Trump spends afternoon stabbing Secret Service agent."
I'm not really sure what the joke is.
I fancy myself to have a pretty sharp sense of humor. I don't get it.
Yeah, because it's not talking about how he's not doing anything. Like if he had taken office and then done nothing.
Like the past president?
The joke would be, oh, he in this first week, he's done nothing but sit there and just sort of like make a joke about it was just stabbing the people around him, like he's not doing anything. But that's not the case.
Trump is not, like, there's no parody around Trump being bored. He's going all over the place. And if you're just, like, I don't even know why you would draw such a stark contrast between how busy he actually is versus saying he's bored. Spends afternoon as if he's spending his afternoons doing casual things. He's literally going coast to coast in his first week as the president of the United States. Stabbing, I don't even understand that. And the Secret Service agent thing, the president, even in the midst of having real legitimate reasons to question Secret Service, has stood by them the whole time.
Yeah, so if the joke isn't that they're making fun of him for not getting anything done, which clearly they can't really do, then they're just sort of making a joke up, which is fine, but I don't.
It's not even funny.
I don't get what okay, you're stabbing a Secret Service agent.
There's no irony.
But here's the thing. They went one step too far, maybe a couple steps too far, by putting blood on the face of a president who actually had blood on his face from narrowly avoiding an assassination attempt.
With questionable practices by the Secret Service.
Yeah. It's whatever, but it's out. It just doesn't work. It's a mess.
I don't get it.
Are they trying to? I'm just trying to make sense of it here. Are they trying to go back to his inauguration speech? Not the speech, but the one after the speech, where he walked down the stairs and we carried it and it was more off the cuff, where he was talking about, joking about how they said that he choked out a Secret Service agent or whatever.
No, that was from the accusations that he, during the January 6th stuff, tried to commandeer the car that he was in. That he wasn't joking about that just to joke about it. He was saying that how absurd it was that the allegations were made that he somehow or another like physically overtook this big burly guy and grabbed the steering wheel and everything. Like that's, I don't even know how that would be connected.
Look, if you're going to make a joke that's not based on trying to, make a parody out of something, that's okay. But the joke here would then be something more like bored Trump spends, which is not true, but okay, right. Fine, just to suspend a disbelief. Bored Trump spends afternoon carving Pete Hegseth's initials into Oval Office desk or something like that, where you're like, or you could go a Bill Clinton joke route and say bored Trump talks to Melania about Monica Lewinsky's role. Or, you could go like that direction and do something that's risque, but they didn't really do any of that.
Christopher on our YouTube chat says Babylon B's next headline will be Onion spends afternoon bored stabbing self in foot with bad jokes. I like that.
I mean, you can just have a bad joke, but this one's in pretty bad taste.
But a bad joke, you understand the attempt.
Yeah, this doesn't have a premise.
I'm just like, get that author some therapy. Get him the help that they are clearly asking for.
Yeah, The Onion really did take a bad turn with Trump, too. Like we talk about comedy and how people kind of lost their ability to be objective and just go after jokes. The Onion is very much a part of that. They really lost it with Trump. All the late night did it, but The Onion was kind of they were kind of underground a little bit, so they got a pass. But they really, I think they've had financial troubles at the same time.
Maybe
as
it's
they've
because
had
they
Trump
suck.
Troubles. Yeah.
We don't have the video of Saturday Night Live, do we?
No.
I'm going to send this to myself so we can play it because I went to Jersey County this weekend and was able to speak at their Lincoln Day dinner. I was really excited to do that. I'd never gone to a Jersey County event before, so it was an honor to be able to be there and talk to them. And one of the people I was talking to was saying that they hadn't really they were looking forward to checking out the SNL stuff. Because last night was the first, or Saturday night would have been the first night that there would have been a Saturday Night Live with President Donald Trump. And I'm in a position where, hey, we won. So the jokes that you want to make about it, if at the end of the day and the end of your joke, Donald Trump's still the president, the jokes don't hurt my feelings. Who's the guy who plays Donald Trump on SNL? Do you know? The actor?
I don't know his name.
I don't know him at all. I don't know who he is. I don't know anything that he's ever done that get that off there. That he has ever done that isn't Donald Trump. He's a pretty good Trump. And what I need to do, if I see somebody parodying someone, it needs to be enough. It needs to be enough so that at the end of the parody, I'm not so distracted by how bad it is that I'm not paying attention to the actual content of the joke, So this guy, I think he does a good enough job. I'm glad they're not using Alec Baldwin. I'm glad Alec Baldwin's problems can just be his problems and that we don't have to suffer through him because it's not funny. This guy I actually thought was pretty funny. They started the show. The opening scene was a scene from Hamilton, the signing of the documents, and John Hancock there, and he kind of starts out the whole thing. But Lin-Manuel Miranda comes out as Hamilton and starts to do his thing, and so I'm like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Now they're not gonna all of a sudden use this as an opportunity to laud Donald Trump. So you know that there are going to be some jabs taken, and when you're the president of the United States, you should have jabs taken at you. That's part of the First Amendment in its finest, most enjoyable form. Is good comedy that pokes fun at the people who are in positions of power over you as the we the people element of that equation.
Oh, look at Lynn. Look how bad he wants to do a rap.
So you got Donald Trump, this character, Donald Trump. The scene of the signing back there is there's the signing of the Declaration, right? Or is it the Constitution? I don't even remember.
This is probably the Declaration.
They kind of like freeze frame, and Donald Trump walks in because they're talking about how beautiful America is going to be and how there's no king, and then Donald Trump comes in.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, okay, I see what you're doing here. So everybody in the background, these founding fathers are all standing back there, and they're frozen, and Donald Trump kind of comes onto the scene and starts talking about it. And so Lin-Manuel Miranda is standing there in the scene, frozen, while Donald Trump's doing a little thing.
He wrote a whole rap, and he doesn't get to do it. Oh, the audience would have eaten that right up. But we're not going to hear it. He's in sniffing distance of an EGOT, and he's got to stand there till I'm done. Lindy. Laura Linney. Lin-Manuel Miranda Cosgrove. There he is. He's such a Miranda.
I was like, it's a good enough impression.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not an actor that is like one of the most known actors, I don't know, maybe he's somebody who everybody knows and I'm just a loser and don't understand it. It actually lets you enjoy that character as a goofy version of Donald Trump.
Yeah, the guy's name is James Austin Johnson. He's been doing it since 2021 and we don't know his name. Yeah, that's him.
Isn't it enjoyable to an extent to watch SNL kind of get their feels out with Donald Trump, but know now that, well, he's still the president. So
it's so funny because that's what everybody's having to deal with. Is you go, well, we already had him for 4 years. We threw everything we possibly could find at him and lost, and now he's going to be the president for 4 years. It's like the left and Hollywood, they're not going to give up, but they are just kind of shrugging and going, I got nothing left. I don't really know what to do, so I guess we'll just laugh a little bit. They're still going to take shots. Like, it's not going to stop, but
that's what we wanted them to do when Joe Biden was president, too. Just take shots. It's fine. Do it in good fun. Make humor. Let us all laugh. But, they wouldn't.
You sent a video of, was it Jamie Kennedy was having a podcast with David Spade or something? Not David Spade. Who was it with? Was it David Spade?
No. It was, I can't think of his name now. I have to look it up. Yeah, I didn't recognize him.
They were
at
talking
first.
about the fact that they'd come out and supported Trump and were like outwardly, openly supportive of Trump, and he had no shame in doing that. Here's more from the Saturday. This is kind of the open of the Saturday Night Live sketch.
What say you, Alexander Hamilton?
What do I say? Our lives matter not if we lose them in the cause of liberty. What matters is the nation we build. Because in America, all men are created equal. America, not England. We do win the sequel. And we will have leaders, but know one thing. In America, we will never have a king.
Never say never. Kidding. king, of course, though in many ways I'm not. I'm in my king era. But just like the founding fathers, I am creating a new country as well. And just like them, we're doing it very whitely. DEI is over. It's dead. Workplaces must go back to looking like the TV show The Office. Mostly white people, but with one funny black guy who's having a really bad time. We need to bring back Stanley culture, right? In terms of crossword and with regard to Pretzel Day. Look at Lynn. He got tricked into coming here, and now he's frozen on stage. Oh, he's furious. But I'm back in the White House just in time. Everything is back to how it was, except now my new favorite son is Barron, and he is smacking his head on every door frame. Oh, it's bad. It's like when Gandalf goes to Bilbo's house. And the inauguration was a tremendous success. It was inside due to cold and fear. But we had a lot of surprise guests like Melania. That was nice. Melania showed up to my inauguration dressed like, frankly, Kung Lao from Mortal Kombat. And you know, I had to put my nerd herd in the front row. Broligarchs before holigarchs. I've been saying it. We're saying it a lot. Zuck, Bezos, Tim Apple, and of course, Elon. We love Elon, but to quote some of his own children, I do not want him in my life. They say he did the Nazi salute. Not true, okay? He simply was creating a new greeting, a cross between hi and hello. We're calling it a Heil.
So that's a pretty good Trump. And some of those jokes, they're the leftist versions of the jokes. And what I wish that we would have had is that the opposite bent on jokes on Joe Biden. We missed that opportunity, and there was so much there. And you can't tell me that they just felt sorry for him, because they sure didn't act like that in the media. They lauded him. They championed him. They didn't joke about him. I can laugh at those jokes, even some of the ones that I'm like, all right.
Yeah, right.
But
they're jokes, though.
They're jokes.
That's the point.
And you can see with the jokes that they choose to make what gets under their skin a little bit.
Yeah.
And I, for one, like to know.
It is unfortunate because they were running cover for the President of the United States instead of joking for so long. Joe Biden. They could have been doing some really funny stuff. And they just didn't do it because they were politically in his camp.
Yeah. Melania showing up, special surprise guest. That's funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't laugh at that, don't take yourself so seriously.
I mean, making a Mortal Kombat joke out of her outfit.
When he said that, I've heard people refer to her as the Hamburglar and some other things. But when he said Mortal Kombat, I know exactly the character. I wouldn't have known the name, but I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. Good joke. Yeah, well, Donald Trump's the president. I'm happy. I can laugh. Can you? Quick break. Poll results. When we come back, don't go away.
You know where I'll be riding shotgun underneath.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
How much do you want to see RFK reform our healthcare system? Not at all. Some reform or complete reform. We're about to give you the results of this poll, as we do every day before 3 o'clock. That's coming up, so you can still get your vote in if you haven't voted. It's today's YouTube live chat poll. It is 2:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon. Here we go. Week number 2 of the Trump administration. Heads are still exploding. We'll have the very latest on that. Also, the brand new Lieutenant Governor of Missouri, David Wassinger, who is leading a Republican charge to eliminate DEI training for attorneys in Missouri. All of that and more coming up after Fox News at 3.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. It is National Lutheran Schools Week. It's National School Choice Awareness Week, and we are celebrating Spirit Day today on the Annie Frey Show. I'm wearing an Adam Wainwright Cardinals jersey that is my husband's that I bought for him. If your wife buys you something, can she take it and wear it whenever she wants?
I don't think so. No, that doesn't work that way. That's not the answer you were looking for, but that's the truth.
Oh, it doesn't have any bearing on what I do.
Oh, okay.
I just wondered, in your household.
Oh, in my household.
If she buys you that lovely Blues jersey that you're wearing right now, and it's Blues Day at the school she teaches at, can she take that out of your closet without asking permission?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't worry too much about that. But there are certain shirts that I'm like, I was going to wear that shirt today. We don't really have a lot of crossover, though, because our closets are in such different parts of the house that it's almost like if I see her...
Does she know? Does she ever travel over to your wing of the house?
If I see her walking into my wing, I'm like, what are you doing over there? So I kind of instantly know something's up.
What if she does it when you're not home? And you don't know that she's doing it, and you come home and she walks in and she's wearing the Blues jersey?
I'd probably be okay with that.
Wouldn't she look cute in it?
I was going to say that, but I didn't.
You should. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. It just seemed weird to say.
Why?
I would think she was kind of cute in it. Yeah, girls wearing men's clothes that are a little too big for them, I think men enjoy that.
That's like super in now culturally.
Is it? Okay. I have no idea, but I do know that if I saw my wife wearing something of mine and it's a little too big, it is kind of cute. And I probably would tell her
Have
that.
you come full circle? You can't have a problem with it and also be like, you look great.
Well, I have a problem with it only, okay, the reason I'm saying that is because there are certain shirts that we've bought like on vacation that we would buy as a shirt that would be like, oh, anybody could wear this, but clearly one person wears it more often. Like a kid's shirt that, hey, yeah, kids, anybody can wear that shirt, but one kid's going to wear it the most.
I'm talking about you and your wife.
And I am talking about me and my wife because there are shirts like that we've bought that are like, oh, yeah, this could fit either one of us. We could both wear this shirt, but it's in one of our closets. And whoever its closet it's in is technically theirs.
But you don't care if she wears it.
I don't really care.
You could have said that
It's a long
2
way
minutes
around.
ago. But especially if she buys it for you, doesn't she get to kind of borrow it?
I think that's where I have an issue. If she buys it for me, it's still my shirt.
Well, of course. This is still Jared's shirt.
Okay.
I bought it for him.
Okay. Well.
And I'm wearing it today because it's Spirit Day, and I needed a Cardinals jersey, and this is a very nice Cardinals jersey. Adam Wainwright's, and I'm
trying to come up with a scenario in which that would not be okay, and I
Yeah,
can't really
I
find
know.
one.
You're trying really hard to be contrary.
So I guess I'll just say it's okay.
Ethan, can your wife swipe that Michigan State jersey you're wearing over there if it was necessary? Can she wear that and without asking permission from you?
If she doesn't get anything on it, then yeah.
If she behaves.
Yeah. I've had situations like that where like
Well, I was worried about the makeup on this white jersey.
Yeah, like after there's a school dance, and after they're all going or like doing a jersey theme or something, and like sisters have asked, "Can I borrow that?" I'm like, "You can borrow it as long as you don't stain it."
Your sister and your wife, though.
Yeah, but my wife's never asked, so this is the only situation that I can relate it to.
I would add that where the real difference comes down is when they do get something on it, how you treat your sister versus how you treat your wife.
Oh my God, my sisters would get verbally abused.
Yeah, and your wife?
No. I would say, could you please get that stain out?
Yeah, and you might still have the same emotion, but the way you let your sister have it, and I say this as a sister, the way it happens through siblings and the way your husband, who is disappointed, handles you as a wife, that's a major difference.
Slightly different.
Brad, what about you? Can your wife come take your shirt out of your closet, especially if she gave it to you as a gift?
Yeah, she's actually worn this shirt before. So
did she give it to you?
No, she didn't get to. I got it as a gift from somebody else.
Did she ask you for it?
Yeah, she was.
That's not the scenario.
Oh, all right.
If she gives you something.
Listen, Brad.
This is like talking to Ryan. If she gives you a gift, can she just come take it? It's something you really appreciate. I'm asking because Jared's finding out probably right about now that I'm wearing this jersey.
Did he care that you wore his Notre Dame jersey?
No. The only thing is he wanted to wear it that night, and so I gave it to him and he wore it that night, I think. He didn't care.
Does he care if you do it and then you're like, chili cheese fries? Or if you didn't just stumble upon the chili cheese fries, if you actually said, you know what I think I'm going to do now that I'm wearing this jersey? I'm going to go to rallies.
If I didn't, if I got something on the jersey, I would just buy him a new one.
Oh,
I would feel really bad about it.
You wouldn't try to get the stain out and just leave it at that?
I would try to get the stain out, but if it's the Notre Dame jersey, which is one of the green jerseys, which is a special kind of Notre Dame jersey, I would work hard to get the stain out of that because you probably wouldn't if you did your best work on it.
Sure.
If I got something on this white jersey and it's one of the lighter ones, so it's one of the higher end ones, if I got something on this, I would just be going over to the clubhouse on the way home.
Do they even still sell Wainwright jerseys?
I don't know. It's vintage.
Yikes. This is pretty risky right now.
On our wedding day, I gave him a Wainwright jersey. And
That's cute.
so he has, and that was in 2007 when we got married, but I've gotten him Wainwright jerseys throughout our entire marriage. So this was the last of the Wainwright installation.
How many does he have?
Maybe 4.
Holy moly.
Oh, then you'd be fine
But they're
dropping chili cheese on it.
They're the different styles of jersey. So it's not the same one over
Right.
there. There's like a blue one. There's the cream Sunday one or whatever it is now, the classic white one that was. So, yeah.
It's a safe call. If you're going to go with a last name, going with a guy that is like, he's
Franchise
retired.
player,
He's
yeah.
the guy. Me, I have a Jack Flaherty powder blue jersey, and like that's useless now.
It was useless then.
It was good for a year.
Sorry.
I got excited.
Should have gone with the Matheny on the 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
I
have a Matheny jersey from when he played.
How
Way
about
back when.
that?
Yeah. The YouTube live chat poll, you want to set that up for us here real quick?
281 votes on today's poll, which asks, how much do you want to see RFK Jr. reform our health systems? Am I giving the answers now?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. Winning today's poll, well, I'll say the options first. Complete reform, some reform, or not at all. Nice little mix on this one between two of the options, at least. 63% say complete reform, 36% say some reform, and just 1% says not at all.
I'm kind of surprised that 2/3 of our audience want RFK Jr. to just go ham.
I'm not.
On the whole thing. You're not?
Mm-mm.
It'll be interesting to see. All this week, Lisa, stl.org/Annie, please help us meet our goal of $15,000 to establish an Annie Frey Show Lutheran Education Scholarship. The website is Lisa with an E, LESA, stl.org/Annie. I'm really hoping that we can get there. I think we can. We had $7,000 walked in the door at Ruler Foods to help feed people in St. Louis. I need your generosity this week to help educate in a Lutheran school our kids. Lisa, stl.org/Annie.
A lot of people when they come in, they'll say, I'm usually much more active, but since I've been in pain, I've had to limit the activities I'm doing.
You're listening to Janelle, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So he came in and he wanted to be able to keep up play sports with his kids. And from there, we figure out which arch supports complement those activities. I fit him with the arch supports, and as I followed up with him, he's messaged me and said, I took my kids to the park today. We're walking, we're exercising, riding the bikes, and those are all things that he wasn't doing before because he was in pain.
For over 25 years, the Good Feet Store's arch support specialists have been helping folks to live the life they love without foot, knee, hip, or back pain getting in the way.
Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. That's what's most important, is knowing that you leave an impact on someone's life. And I like that.
Try them for yourself. Stop in for a free personalized fitting and test walk at the Good Feet Store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Man, I remember the day, like a lot of my customers, going to school. When I went to school, I had to walk uphill, and it was 25 below zero and 14 inches of snow an hour. And then by the time I got out of school, the terrain changed, and I still had to walk uphill to get home. Remember those days? Crazy. This is extreme weather temperatures. Most people's furnaces can break. If your furnace breaks, give me a call. It's common, it's normal, it's going to happen. It has nothing to do with global warming or anything. It's just these are extreme temperatures. If we can't repair it the same day or it doesn't make sense, I'll give you a really good price on a furnace that gives you heat without the ball face lies that you're going to get more heat and it's going to save you money. So if you want common sense, call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600 or BartInman.com, and that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend.